Celtics are now 4-0 to start the season after pulling away from Milwaukee in the fourth quarter last night for a 119-108 win over the Bucks at TD Garden. Jaylen Brown scored 30 points to lead the Green, and Peyton Pritchard added 8 threes on his way to 28 points off the bench.
I feel like I'm probably the most competitive on our team. I hate losing in anything. I want to win at everything. It doesn't matter if we're playing wiffle ball before practice. I want to win. So it's how I've always been, and it's probably why I'm here today.
Damian Lillard scored 33 points for the Bucks. The Celtics visit the Indiana Pacers tomorrow night. As for the Bruins, they'll be back in action this evening as they wrap up a 3-game homestand against Philadelphia. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. As for the Patriots, they made a trade yesterday, sending pass rusher Josh Uche to Kansas City for a 6th-round draft pick in 2026. Also, Gerard Mayo confirmed to the media yesterday morning that Drake May did indeed enter concussion protocol. On Monday Night Football, Pittsburgh beat the New York Giants 26-18. Steelers are now 6-2. And at the World Series, Freddie Freeman hit another homer to lead the Dodgers to another World Series win over the Yankees, 4-2 at the stadium last night. LA now leads the best of 7, 3-0. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Eastern Massachusetts' leader in drain cleaning and pipelining. Drains by James. Slow drain, clogged drain. You need to contact Drains by James today at drainsbyjames.com. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Start your day.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Work through your day.
What's that thing we do at the end of the show?
And end your day.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Fred, hello. 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 Mm-hmm. Hello. Hello. Hello.
He's naked. He has a sword.
Hi. Opening him up with a football.
98.5. The Hub.
Bruins are back from the West Coast.
Cocaine and hookers. Yes.
Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Yeah. Welcome to the show, you sweet bitch.
Where are my headphones? Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy. We are in the Town Fair Tire Studios. You can watch us on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. You can call us 617-779-0985. We're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And here we are. Jim Montgomery scheduled to be joining us this morning at 6:40. Very early. The man is an early riser.
Hey there.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi, I'm Isaac.
Are you excited for Jim Montgomery maybe calling in?
Say my name.
All right, Isaac.
Hi, I'm Isaac.
I know, Isaac. You keep repeating yourself.
Hey there.
Hi. Don't feign interest in me. You just want me to say your name.
Say my name.
I know, Isaac. Isaac.
Hey there.
Look. So vain, Isaac. Everything with you is Isaac.
Hi,
Isaac.
I'm Isaac.
I know, Isaac. Makes me think you're not even here. Makes me think you're on dope. Is what it truly makes
don't
me
say
think.
that about your mentee.
You taught him right, Fred. He
Not
would
on
never
a
do that.
Marijuana pot dope.
Yeah, no, Isaac's clean as a whistle.
Straight edge.
Yeah, Isaac is. He's the modern day Ian MacKay. He loves it. He's actually wearing braces and head shave right now.
He's got the straight edge.
He does. So Jim. Look forward to that, Jim Montgomery.
Montgomery, 6:40, which leads me to believe he's up no later than 6. If he's gonna hop on the radio at 6:40, They got a game tonight at 7 o'clock. Is he going to get a nap? You got to be awake for that game.
After morning skate, you figure maybe he goes home, takes a nap.
Well, the Thrashers, when they were in Atlanta, they played in Phillips Arena, which was attached to the CNN Center. The reason I'm saying this is they used to practice in the morning on game days, and then they would get hotel rooms that was in the hotel attached to the CNN Center, and they would nap there.
Because driving back and forth was...
I don't know why they did it, but they did it, and they
No,
would...
I think driving back and forth in Atlanta would be the reason why you wouldn't want to do it if you lived anywhere outside of...
Yeah, I mean, the traffic's no better here, really. It's just... they just stayed. I just remember always on game days, obviously not practice days, but on game days they had hotel rooms because I remember Savard used to stay in the hotel there, and then they would nap and for some reason I was fascinated by it. So I talked to them. Andy Sutton was the guy on that team, and he had a tattoo on his belly button of the sun around his belly button.
Oh, that's hot.
Which I made fun of, and he did not care for that. I would make fun of him all the time for it. He did not. I don't think he cared for me.
He deserved it, but also kind of sexy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't pull that off unless you're ripping some abs.
Hell yeah. Totally off topic. Can we talk about your ensemble this morning? Because
yeah, we can go.
I don't know what you're wearing, but A, I like it, and B, you're pulling it off. A lot of times you'll wear something that I both don't like and you don't pull off anyway, okay?
Yep, sure.
You are 2 for 2 on this jacket, hoodie combo. It's like a quilted shirt. I don't know what's going on. I want to know everything about it because that's something that should be in my closet.
Okay.
Talk to me.
Well, first
what
of all,
is it?
Mr. Blackwell, I don't appreciate leading a compliment with prefacing it with an insult.
Oh, no. It just shows how honest I'm being right now.
I don't know why I wouldn't believe you to say that you love what I'm wearing. I mean, which one of my hoodies is...
Because most days I don't. I don't know how to say it any other way or any kinder. Are you saying I don't have to say that part of it?
Well, then you must hate what John wears because we both wear hoodies every day.
No, I think John is he's the balls.
Thanks, Hardy. I think he's being an ass to both of us at the moment.
Yeah, I mean...
I think that Hardy has pulled out the ass card and is playing it here in the first segment of the show.
I'm coming in with an ascot and...
seriously,
or dressing
the guy
like a
has
Dutch
never
boy.
paid for a piece of clothing in his entire life, wears nothing but golf stuff he got for free, solely for hosting a show that no one listens to.
I bought these shoes. I bought these shoes.
Okay.
That I'm wearing
All
today.
right, so my son got a shirt delivered, this thing delivered to the house, what I'm wearing now, not the exact one, and I liked it. And I said, where did you find that? And he said, it's like, I saw it on TikTok. And I said, and then so I looked at the brand, and it's a hunting brand.
Oh.
I forget what the name of it is. I suppose I could go through my email at some point because if you'll just give me 3 minutes, I can go search for where
if you give me 3 seconds, I can check the tag on the back of your collar.
Yeah, sure.
This is a bonding moment right here.
Yeah, it is.
I like this.
If you don't
lot.
know, it's a hoodie. This jacket and hoodie is okay in Hardy's, but if it's the one I wore to Gorman's.
Well, the one you wore to Gorman's, that was an attempt at being stylish. This was what's in the back of my closet type of
I'm
thing.
going to give you a hint.
I may be
just
wrong, but
bought
that's
this.
what it looks like.
I just bought this.
Okay.
It is a word for a duck that also begins with a D.
A word for a duck that also begins with a D.
Yes, hence the hunting brand.
Decoy.
Nope. Very good, though, Adam.
I don't know. Go.
Drake.
Okay.
I didn't know that. That was another word for duck. But yeah, this is a shirt to murder things in, as is my want. And it's a flannel with a hoodie attached, but this one's okay. I guess because it's like more of a This is something you might be able to find in like Carhartt or somewhere.
Like Carhartt. I'm wearing
Carhartt.
I'm wearing a Carhartt hat today.
Yeah,
but that, my friend, looks uber comfy. Now, does it have snaps instead of
It has
zippers.
snaps and a zipper.
Oh, I love the snaps.
The hoodie is of zipper, and then the flannel part is of snap. So yeah, this is something. I mean, I almost wore it for you.
I'm not going to get the same color, but if I got something like that, would you be okay with it?
This is the best color that they have, but you can be your own judge. I asked women about it too. I'm like, what color? And because that's what I do with everything, even if it's as simple as my daughter, I'll ask a woman what's going on. Yeah, and so wait until I start suburban hunting, much like Adolfo going to the woods of Wellesley with his bow and arrow.
I think it was Weston, but
No, it was Wellesley.
Was it Wellesley?
No, I remember it was
I
Wellesley.
thought there was the woods of Weston.
No, it's the woods of Wellesley, which is even more ridiculous. And he said that he was going to go in the. Adolfo said he was going in the woods of Wellesley with his bow and arrow, and he was going to camp out and hunt.
The camping part was the best.
Yeah, he was going to camp out in the woods of Wellesley.
I can't survive in his own apartment during the winter.
And he was going to do that.
Okay, I'm just blown away by this whole thing. Number one, I thought it was going to be twice the amount of money that it is. It's very reasonably priced. And you absolutely got the best color.
Yeah, there's no question about it.
So I can't get the same color.
Sure you can.
Oh, come on.
It'd be fun if you were the same day as me.
Oh, it'd be great.
It would be fun. We could have a good laugh. Like, we don't take ourselves too seriously. Like,
We'll take a picture. We'll post it up on social media. See?
How much does this cost? $90?
80.
Yeah, 80.
Nice.
Yeah. What, you thought it was going to be $180?
I thought, something like that. When you see like a cool, like Orvis, some Carhartt stuff, it'll be over $100 for like something that looks like a shirt, but there's a lot more going on. Wallach, it has a zipper and snaps. You understand?
That's weird. Why?
I'm just saying there's a lot going on. There's a lot of hardware involved in this shirt, and it's a hoodie, so you could conceivably go well over $100 for something like that. I stopped at a store, a brand that I really like, which I don't always pay for this stuff from, and I stopped at their store, and there was like a flannel shirt, but it was kind of like a light flannel. You know what I'm talking about? Kind of, not like a heavy Christmas flannel, just kind of like a lighter flannel. Almost, you could almost pull it off as a dress shirt, but not quite. Maybe like a Saturday night church, not Sunday morning church. Okay.
Yeah. Is that true, Adam? You can wear anything, though.
You can wear anything to church.
Okay.
Well, no, not on Sundays. What do you
Sure
wear to
can.
church on Sundays?
All
Adam?
are welcome. I don't want to ruin the bit, but I haven't been to church in a long time.
Oh, you know why? It's too bougie.
They stopped serving the free spaghetti.
They charge you.
No. You go to church, you just don't go on Sundays. I understand. You go when they're giving something away. You don't go there to take in the Lord.
But I go into the store that I like, this brand that I really like, and I've got Marcy with me. She's like, "Oh, look at that shirt. You should try that on." I go try it on. As I'm trying it on, I see the price tag. It's $140 for a shirt.
Yeah, but were the patterns really complicated?
Was it a Gordon Gartrell?
I'll tell you this, is that he's taking all his per diem and going out there and trying to buy those
Well, that's
patterns.
almost $1,000 I wanted so bad.
So I do want to say something while we have the time, because it was just on TV, to take another big left turn.
Good.
Is this Tony Hinchcliffe, who's getting in all the hot water for saying Puerto Ricans are trash and Trash Island and everything. He is a comedian of this Kill Tony. So I've known about him. He's not funny. And the best thing about him at the Trump thing is how bad he bombed. Because if it was funny, or even if he got a laugh, it would have been pretty funny. If you don't know, this Tony Hinchcliffe, he's at this Trump rally at Madison Square Garden. They hired him. He's famous because of Rogan. He does an open mic night thing called Kill Tony that started at the Comedy Store. He moved one of the comics that followed the semen trail to Austin of Joe Rogan. And I think Shane Gillis is really, really, really funny. So let's get that out of the way. So it's not Hinchcliffe's politics or anything, or the fact that he's said anything controversial. In fact, I'm a big fan of that.
but Hinchcliffe is not funny at all. There is something I almost hesitate to tell people about this because it's so incredibly toxic. But there is something called Red Bar, which is a podcast that this old comedy club owner in Chicago does with his wife. And he goes after comedians, and to the point where Joey Diaz has threatened to kill him. This other guy has shown up at his apartment in Chicago. He's very, very, very offensive. Like, he's bad. Like, it's offensive. Like, I am not saying that this guy is saying I don't sign off on anything he says. Tony Hinchcliffe had a special on Netflix that this guy takes down for about an hour. Oh, boy. Once I saw that, I was like, holy moly. So then when I was like, what's all this? Why they keep showing this, like, hacky comic? They said, oh, he said these controversial things. And I said, oh, maybe it was really funny. And this is going to be like a thing for his career. But he sees a black guy in the audience. This is like, I hope it's off the cuff. He sees a black guy in the audience and he goes, something about Halloween, but he won't be carving pumpkins. He'll be carving watermelon.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh my God. Like this is the worst joke. Like, it's the most like dumb, like fifth grade, like dumb playground crap. It was pretty. I mean, you got to watch it. He goes for 12 minutes and and he knows he's bombing, and he keeps going. All right. Like, this is a weird crowd. Yeah. Because like no one's laughing. I mean, he keeps saying how this is not the right environment for comedy, and he keeps saying this stuff because what he was trying to do, and he misread the crowd completely, is what he was trying to do is he was trying to do like a reverse Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah would go on like the Daily Show, and like a lot of times there'd be no joke. It would just be like, I agree. Like people would clap.
Yeah.
He was sort of trying to go that way, but he wasn't saying anything that at least outwardly they were comfortable agreeing with.
Sure.
And so like he wasn't even getting like approval applause.
Right.
He was just, I mean, you made a watermelon joke. I mean, it's the dumbest joke. There's like nothing subversive about it. And Anthony Jeselnik was like, and I don't think he was talking about Hinchcliffe really, but he's like, so here's the thing. He goes, he's like, comedians want to be able to say whatever they want. This I thought was a very interesting way to put it. And I think it's right. He's like, comedians just want to say whatever they want to say without getting in trouble. And he's like, and he goes, and I don't think, or getting any heat.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't think that's right. He's like, because Jeselnik is very controversial. He's like, when you do comedy, the goal is to be funny. So you want the audience leaving going, wow, I can't believe he talked about that stuff and it was so funny. And then you can point back to your act when people get pissed off and you go, well, it was funny. And when you get in trouble for something, if it's funny, at least in my own experience, if I find it funny, it's much easier to take. When it's not funny, you're like, ah.
Yeah, if it was just mean or a dumb thing to say, then there's no defense for it.
Or if it's just a joke that bombed, like it's just it doesn't work as well. So like when you talk about like George Carlin or like Pryor, like these guys that some of these dudes that aren't nearly as funny point to, they were funny. Like, and Hinchcliffe put this thing on Twitter, and he's like, Don Rickles did the Reagan roast.
Yeah.
In like 1980, whatever, one of the Reagan years, 84, say. And so I watched it, and Rickles, is a trillion million times funnier. And B is not even doing anything remotely what Hinchcliffe did. And second of all, I just remembered this yesterday too. Norm Macdonald went after Hinchcliffe when he was alive because Hinchcliffe stole one of Norm's bits and used it in his Netflix special. Oh. So he's like, I've always hated him. And so, like, they couldn't get anyone. They couldn't get anyone they really wanted.
Right.
So, and what the funny thing is this is like terrible timing because I guess Puerto Ricans are like 8% of the vote in Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania is obviously the big swing state. And like, so that 8% could swing. And so since Hinchcliffe has come out, like Bad Bunny and all these people have like endorsed Harris, I don't know what that means.
The election's going to be so close.
But the thing is that like all the Trump people are pissed at Hinchcliffe. And then there's also like doing something that you get in trouble for that's funny, whatever. But then just like before an election at a political rally saying Puerto Ricans are trash, and that's heat I would not want on myself.
No.
Just like a whole like so now for the rest of your life. Because if it was at a comedy club, everyone, unless you're a total moron, understands the difference between being at a political rally or a comedy club. A political rally, I don't know, politicizes what you're saying, and it adds a certain a certain weight to what you're saying. And so, you get in trouble and you can go like, oh, everyone's just like, or like everyone's, or, and if it was funny, he could go big deal. Like I did it at a Trump rally. There's, the press correspondence dinners and stuff, like people are funny. But the idea that he bombed so badly and now he's just got, for the rest of his life, like a whole section of society is going to universally hate him. And he can't go back on it.
No,
because he can't. Because then the whole thing is blown up because then it takes away his whole steez, which is like, everyone was censoring me.
Well, what I think you're saying, I think what Jesselnick was saying is the thing that I thought when I saw it, and I thought about this a lot whenever I see a comedian, getting heat for something they've said. The only barometer at the end of it is, well, was it funny? And, if some people are going to be offended, yeah, that's kind of the definition of a lot of comedy is it is going to offend your sensibilities on some level. Was what he said funny? And I heard the other joke that you said earlier too, Fred. Like, no, neither one of those things.
Oh, no.
Funny.
The watermelon joke is just so hacky. It's a watermelon joke about black people.
So hacky that I think most people under the age of 30 would not even understand the reference. Like, what are you talking about? Why is that?
I think it's worse. I think that everyone would understand the reference, and it's like a joke as old as like Bugs Bunny cartoons from like when they were still racist.
Yeah, it's just okay. So you might, some people like fans of his even might want to give him a pass, but. No, it's not funny.
There's no way. And believe me, I think to really truly be like an over the top, like brilliant comic, you have to, there generally has to be some kind of rubbing against the grain. And I think in most art, there has to be some kind of, upsetting people's sensibilities in order for it to be truly over, like to be truly great, or else it's just some generic crap. It's got to piss someone off.
Yes.
Great art. There's no way a fan of his thought his set was funny. They might excuse it to be a bad crowd and he panicked, but there's no way ever. There's no way, and there's no way any of his comedian friends, and there's no way that any of those dudes can sit there. Because I don't want to lump these guys in with them, but Shane Gill's really funny. Mark Norman's really funny. I'm sure they've all done Kill Tony. Like those dudes are like really funny. It's not the material. It's not the subject matter. Because I'm sure you could make a bunch of like race jokes that I would guiltily laugh at. But a watermelon joke, woof. So anyway, he's on TV, and just that Red Bar thing, woof. Red Bar. It's bad. I don't have anything to do with Red Bar. I don't even know who the guy is. I just seen it before, but it's bad. All right, listen, we got a race because we're flying here. We got to talk to Jim Montgomery in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what happened last evening?
Celtics were home to take on the Milwaukee Bucks, and Peyton Pritchard took over the night with his three-point shooting and his buzzer beatings.
Pritchard, final seconds of the quarter. Pritchard gallops into the front court, steps to his right, takes the three, got it! Of course he did, because it's Peyton Pritchard and it's the end of the quarter.
He's that dude. He's that dude.
Marcia Brady hasn't been typecast as much as Peyton Pritchard has for these end-of-quarter heroics, and he does it again.
Marcia Brady hasn't been typecast.
So what else did Marcia Brady do where she was
She cried
typecast?
when she got hit in the nose with the ball,
but in
which
order to-
maybe he relates to on the count he cried his last game last season.
I never would have guessed you would have tied it in that way.
I'll tie in everything to him
That's
crying.
impressive. I didn't see that one coming.
In order to
Sorry,
be
everyone.
typecast, one must appear in more than one thing and then be cast as a certain type.
I would say it's more of a Costanza situation that, or a Chandler situation, where they kept giving Matthew Perry roles, but everyone would still call him Chandler.
Right.
I think that's the situation.
Peyton Pritchard, 28 minutes on the court last night for the Celtics, 10 of 14 on his field goals, 8 for 12 from three-point territory.
Tied a Celtic record with 8 threes off the bench last night.
So 12 of his 14 shot attempts were three-pointers.
Yes. Have you not watched the Celtics play?
But he can go inside. He can actually, get
He
to the
doesn't
rim.
need to. Have you not watched a second of the way this
All
thing
right,
plays?
John, you had tweeted something that someone maybe mentioned the scallenge. What happened?
Yes, Drew Carter mentioned the Scallons just in passing to Scalabrini, and I forget what it was in reference to now that we're talking about it. But yeah, Drew Carter, who was not here when we did the Scallenge a decade ago, and Scal was like, "Yeah, I took it. I didn't take it easy on any of those guys," and then they moved on. But it just seemed apropos of nothing. I don't know why he brought it up, but he did. It was weird.
Maybe he was trying to not end up in this Grandy thing. Did Drew Carter cry at the end of last season? We'll have to see.
Okay.
He doesn't get to do the playoff games, though.
Celtics beat the Milwaukee Bucks 119-108. Let's go to the World Series, Game 3, where the Dodgers have a chance to take a commanding lead and a fantastic home run call from John Sterling. This is majestic.
And the breaking ball, there it goes. Deep left center field, and Teoscar is there to make the catch. Oh, did I get fooled on that? What with that swing and the ball majestically going to left field, Susan, I actually thought it was going to be out, and it wasn't close.
Let's see where there was a high cutter, and he really did get some good wood under it, but it looked obviously like it was off the end of the bat. And maybe I'm looking to see if the flags pull that. No, flag's blowing in a little bit.
If you told me that was my parents in the front seat of the car at 82 years old, I would say you're right.
Susan Waldman, yeah, the flags are blowing in a little bit.
No, she used to save his ass, and now it's just another senior citizen trying to talk about the game.
We can't do it in this medium, but you need to see the video. The ball landed 50 yards short of the wall. I mean, it was a medium depth fly ball, nowhere near the track.
But play it again, John, because John, found it, and we were talking about it early this morning, and I listened to it, and I said, you know what? Not to absolve Sterling, because these guys should know better, but the crowd, a good chunk of them thought it was gone too.
And the breaking ball, there it goes. Deep left center field, and Teoscar is there to make the catch. Oh, did I get fooled on that? What with that swing?
So a fair amount of people thought.
When you reach a certain age, you can't just let the mistakes sit. You got to start babbling, and then Waldman, who's no spring chicken herself, she used to save his ass, and now by the way, if you want to go by a crowd cheering for a fly ball, welcome
Fenway,
to
they
Major
do
League
that too.
Baseball, and
Yeah,
especially at $1,000 buy-in.
Yeah.
You're going to get a bunch of jabronis in there that are cheering at anything.
Any fly ball, I mean, they know enough not to do it on pop-ups, but any fly ball to the outfield, there's that initial roar.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way that baseball is. And Fenway's terrible fly ball fans. And but they're also, you have to remember, on the radio. So the people you're guessing can't see the game.
So when you react to something like that, they're telling you it's a home run, essentially. So you're under the impression that your team has just hit a home run, and now immediately that's taken out from under you. It's almost cruel.
Yeah, he's not calling the game remotely. He's sitting there behind home plate watching the game.
But if it was on TV, you could just be like, all right, whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
But it's the radio. Yeah. It's the only means of gathering the information in your head.
Monday Night Football last night, Steelers at home to take on the Giants, 9-9 at the half, but then Russell Wilson started slanging that rock. 20-28 on the night for 278 yards, and maybe more importantly for Steelers fans and their offense, 3 of 4 of his downfield passes of 20 yards or more. So they are opening up the playbook for Russell Wilson. Steelers get the win 26-18.
Daniel Jones now 1-15 in his career in prime time. He has played 8 Monday night games. He has lost all 8 of them and has not thrown a touchdown pass in any of those 8 games.
Well, they had the ball at the Steelers 35 with the chance. They were down 8 with time. A lot of time in the fourth.
You might as well give him 2 weeks to score.
And he threw a pick in that situation, and then they got the ball back with a little under 2 minutes left, down 8, and he screwed everything out again.
Yeah, did he throw the pick on the first or second possession when they were down 8? I know it was one of them.
I thought it was the first, but I might be wrong. They had a couple opportunities to score, but he's no Jacoby Brissett against that Jets defense. That I can tell you. You need a guy like Brissett if you're going to go against an all-world defense. I heard this conversation yesterday. Is Sauce Gardner the most overrated player in the NFL? He's definitely on the Mount Rushmore of overrated players in the NFL.
Anytime you get beaten by Kayshon Boutte, you're a
Kayshon Boutte beating you on a 3rd and long in a where you know the ball is going. You're supposed to be the next Darrelle Revis, and you get beat in that situation.
Oh, it's awful.
There's against Brissett and Kayshon Boutte. There's no excuse. You stink. All right.
A trade for the Patriots yesterday. We'll get to that in the 7 o'clock.
Yeah, because Belichick didn't like it. He who was dealing, always wheeling and dealing and getting rid of people at the right time.
Oh, man.
All right. Belichick's a real – I just cannot stand him, and I don't know how any of you can. Anyone out there who gets angry at me, I really don't get it, but that's what makes life so worth living. Jim Montgomery is going to join us in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Celtics are now 4-0. They beat Milwaukee at TD Garden last night, 119-108. They visit Indiana tomorrow night. The Bruins are at home tonight to play Philadelphia. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots made a trade yesterday, sending Josh Uche to Kansas City for a 6th-round draft pick in 2026. And at the World Series, the Dodgers beat the Yankees 4-2 at the stadium last night. LA now leads the series 3-0. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Enjoy the game with the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Please drink responsibly. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
McGovern Automotive Group is hiring technicians and offering sign-on bonuses of up to $25,000. Technicians at McGovern enjoy medical, dental, and 401k match benefits from day one, plus yearly bonuses. Ready to join a winning team? Visit McGovernCareers.com today.
First car, first home, new business, new baby, whatever the journey, Concord Group Insurance is along for the ride. For nearly a century, Concord Group Insurance has been protecting the interests of residents and business owners in your local communities. Don't leave the unexpected to chance. Make sure you have the right partner to see you through the difficult moments before they occur. Call your independent agent today and ask for Concord Group Insurance, or visit ConcordGroupInsurance.com for more info and to find an agent near you.
Now, I've been talking about how Massachusetts is the global leader in the life sciences. And people ask me, Felger, what does that mean? Well, let me break it down. Massachusetts is home to over 1,000 life sciences companies across the state, making it the global epicenter of the life sciences industry. We are ranked number 1 in education and healthcare. Along with over 40,000 new jobs projected by 2032, Massachusetts is the perfect place to start an exciting career in the life sciences, where you can make a difference. To learn how to get your start in the life sciences, visit masslifesciences.com.
The NBA is back, and FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, wants you to catch all the action. And right now, FanDuel is giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Pass. All you got to do to catch every tip-off and buzzer beater is to place any $5 bet on the NBA to get 3 months of NBA League Pass, courtesy of FanDuel. Just visit FanDuel.com/Fred to make every moment more this season. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA.
21 plus and present in Massachusetts. After 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Hope is here. Gambling helpline ma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com or call 1-800-GAM-1234.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi, my entire family's obsessed with all things Wicked, but my kids can't stop watching the trailer, and now they're having a Wicked-themed sleepover. Do you think our internet can handle all of the streaming and memeing going on?
Well, we've engineered our Xfinity gateways to handle hundreds of devices at once, so they can all stay magically connected.
Wow. Are you a wizard?
I wish. No, just someone that won't let a bad connection burst your internet bubble.
Now through November 12th, get thrillifyingly fast 300 megabit Xfinity internet with unlimited data included for just $30 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com to learn more. Keep the magic going from your screen to the big screen. And see Wicked, only in theaters November 22nd. Restrictions apply. Requires paid plus plan auto stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Currently $90 a month. Actual speeds vary.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's winds blowing across a fruited plain, and also your new fire pit, which subsequently sets your gazebo ablaze. It's hard-hitting football, and an even harder-hitting price estimate from your general contractor. That's a star-spangled bummer. It's also round-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Macy's Friends and Family is going on right now, and it's the best time to shop for all the gatherings and gifting ahead. Use your coupon or Macy's card and take an extra 30% off the latest trends, new arrivals, and the best brands like Karl Lagerfeld Paris, Steve Madden, Hotel Collection, and more. And get 15% off beauty, too. Plus, get free shipping with any $25 purchase today at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
November is Veterans Month, and Awaken 180 is honoring all active duty veterans and spouses with 15% off your program. A thank you from The Solution for Weight Loss.
Coleman.
It's electric.
When you need an electrician, call Coleman Electric. From Boston to Bow, New Hampshire, south to Sandwich, west to Worcester, Coleman Electric has an office around your corner.
Every joint because we're not even on Twitch anymore. And it was when Hardy was first, it was before he was even on the show, some of that audio.
I've been giving audio to our production department to get new ones of those produced. Hopefully we'll get them soon.
Maybe by the time the time of death for me. Hardy will be playing stuff when I'm dead with my voice on. All right, we're Toucher and Hardy. Brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And look at who we're very pleased to have Jim Montgomery, the coach of your Boston Bruins, with us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Jim Montgomery, hello, sir. Thank you for joining us very early.
Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
You chose. I mean, well, you didn't choose. We asked you to come on. You graciously said yes. I mean, you begged us to come on. You said, "How can I talk to the media?" You said, and then much like one of your predecessors, you asked for not cash but trade with appliances, as was the case with Julian.
I didn't even know we negotiated yet, but I like the way you're thinking.
Yeah, well, Claude did not want to pay the taxes, so he said, "I need appliances."
And I swear to God, that's what he did.
Does anybody like to pay taxes? You ever hear of the Boston Tea Party?
Yeah, well, that's how he ingratiated himself to the local community. He said, I'm not paying any of these tariffs.
Yes.
It's too much for us. But this is unprecedented, Coach Montgomery. It's so early. This is your normal schedule. You are usually up and about at this time. You don't play until tonight. This is what you're doing.
It's too early.
Well, this is what we do. We have a morning skate today. We get in as coaches, and as coaches, we got to think if we put in a lot of hours, it means we're doing our job.
All right, yeah.
Is there really enough to do though? You're gonna be there what 3.5 hours before the guys are on the ice?
What 10 or 11 in the morning? What do you do for 3.5 hours?
The video coaches and Jay Leach, our assistant coach, they pour over all the stuff that the Flyers have been doing well, and maybe areas that we might be able to expose. We will go over that. We get a workout in. I'm a big fan of a sauna. And then, we meet, and then we meet with the players. Then we jump on the ice for about 20 minutes. Then we eat again, and then go home, do whatever you need to do, run errands for an hour. And then you turn around, you go back to the garden at around 3.
Two things. Is a cold plunge ever involved? Because Fred has a lot of thoughts on that. And B, will there be a nap this afternoon?
There's always a 30 to 45-minute nap. That's just healthy for you. And the cold plunge, I got to admit, I'll do a cold shower, but I used to, as a player, do the cold tubs, but I'm not doing that at 55 anymore.
Bad for the ticker.
No, well, listen, some of us can handle it and some of us can't. So they're breaking down all the videos of everything the Flyers have done, and then they have the rest of the 24 hours to do.
To Schmitz.
All right. So Jim Montgomery, there is, the Brad Marchand. There was talk about you were yelling at Marchand there on the bench, and people were speculating what that was all about. I had my own thoughts on that, but can you kind of tell us what happened there and what your relationship with Brad is like?
Yeah. I mean, Brad and I have laughed about this whole ordeal. Like, we never spoke about it after it happened, and I was yelling at him. And it was a culmination of too many turnovers in our game that that one unfortunately didn't, and it ended up in our net, but the whole situation is when you're in the heat of battle, you cannot always be in control like you would like to be. I would have liked to have handled it better, but it's just like when you talk to your own children, and I'm not saying Brad is this way. I'm just saying in general, you tell them to make sure that we're playing, making high percentage plays. And when there's repeated, your children don't listen to you about throw the gum in the garbage and then you sit down on the couch and it ends up on your pants or your jeans. Sometimes you don't always handle it the way that the Cosby Show handled it, where you're in control and your emotions get the best of you. And Brad and I, we both have talked ever since he was named captain several times about how we're wired similarly. Like, we like to be in control of our emotions. We understand that our emotions drive us in a real positive way 95% of the time. There's 5% of the time where it's going to go the wrong way on you. And him and I laugh about situations like that, but that's why it works well. That's why in our culture that we talk about, and that's why we're coming out of this little funk that we've been in, is because we do communicate. It is because we care about each other, and we're like a family. A family, I remember my dad always said, a family can fight together, in the house, but when we're on the outside, we're a united front. And when we're on the outside, we are a united front.
And I would think for a player like Marchand, and maybe for you too, Jim, that you can take that. Like Brad can handle, some tough love in those moments. Maybe not every player, and you don't treat every player the exact same way, I wouldn't think. But for Brad, he can probably brush that off and take it for what it was in the moment.
So you're bang on. I mean, Brad Marchand's one of the toughest athletes ever. I mean, I think you put Pedroia in that ilk, and you probably have Gronk in that ilk. And then they're the type of humans that their competitive fire also allows them to handle. And it's part of the way you're raised. And you're correct. There's other players. There's no chance I would have done that with at least 70% of the other players on the team because they need a different way to be reached.
Yeah, that Hardy stole that from me because I was saying that it's like the Belichick-Brady thing, that Belichick would go after Brady and the other team would go, he's the greatest.
You operate under the belief that I sit here and listen to you during this show.
I think it sank in at least subliminally.
All right.
I just wanted to make it clear, Jim, that was my thought. Go ahead, John. You had a question.
My question is about the lineup. You've obviously made a lot of different line combinations over the last 3 or 4 games to try and get some people going. Specifically, guys like Morgan Geekie. Marchand just scored his first goal. What more can you as a head coach do? What other buttons can you push?
The only thing you can do, when players are in a slump, so to speak, like Aaron Judge is right now in the World Series, is showing them positive video of, this is what you look like when you're on. And we have that footage, and we show them the effort that it takes for them to score a lot of their goals. And the best example is Brad Marchand's goal that he got the first one in here. I mean, he probably got 4 shots on net. He chopped the goalie's leg off before he put the puck in the net. And that's the way you get to positive results, is by being in the moment and making sure you're doing the right things that lead to those type of chances.
I also wanted to ask you about Jeremy Swayman. Obviously, he didn't have much of a preseason. He didn't have any preseason with you. Is he still kind of playing himself into shape?
No, he's not playing himself into shape anymore. I think he needed to get his reps in just to get the looks that a goalie wants to get. And sorry, just a little bit of Boston drivers here, and I'm one of them, making some bad decisions. He is now real sharp and focused. You can tell by his goalie handles have been excellent, and just his game management. That's where I know he's in sync, and I think he's been really good for us his last 4 starts.
Jim, how do you feel about the defense and the way they're playing in front of Swayman or Korpisalo for that matter right now?
Yeah, not good enough. That's the part of our game, not only the defense, but just turnovers, penalties, and defense have been the 3 areas that have not been up to our standard. We were there last game in 2 of those 3 areas. And that's, we do have almost 75% turnover of players that have been with the Bruins for less than a year. There's probably 6 players on the roster have been with the team for more than 2 years. And sometimes the season doesn't start off great. And that's what we're, going through right now. Last couple of years, we started off 17-2-2 and I think 11-1-1. And we didn't end up with the desired result. And I am a positive. I always look at the glass half full. And sometimes you need to go through some really hard times, and you go through them early. You really find out about yourselves early in the season, and you can always draw back on those hard times.
All right. And, okay, so as you go through and this gets adjusted, when do you start paying attention to the record? Like, at what point does that start entering your mind? Instead of game by game, you look at more of as a macro.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not too concerned. You can't fall out of a playoff race in the first 20 games. You just need to be in the hunt. But after the first, 20 games, and I'm not saying I'm not concerned about our record even right now, but that's when you got to start clicking along. You're always going to have sections that basically, historically in the NHL, if you get 12 points every 10 games, you're on pace to make the playoffs because that gets you about 96 points. And I think we're going into our 10th game tonight. We win, we have 11. So we haven't put ourselves in a bad situation. We just need to start playing consistent Bruins hockey, and we feel with the roster we have and the people, most importantly, that are donning the Spoke B jersey are going to get us to where we need to go.
And this is not me stealing from Fred because I'm not convinced he's right on this, but Fred feels fine with the way things are going right now in terms of the way the team is constructed because he thinks playoff time, this is the type of roster that you're going to need and that it's going to prevail as the games tighten up a little bit and things get a little more physical. Do you feel the same way despite the hiccups here in the first 9 games that the way this team is built right now is built for playoff success?
I do agree with that. I think, inside the Bruins walls, we are very confident that just getting to the dance is going to allow us to have success. Whether we finish first in the Atlantic or we finish, as a wild card team, we're confident with the group we have after the course of a long season and growing together that we will be the playoff team we desire to be.
All right, Jim Montgomery. We're parallel thinking. You understand?
You and Jim?
Yeah,
but he doesn't cold plunge, so your guys aren't like brothers.
It's like doing coke, dude. You get out and the dopamine just kicks in. Yeah. I had a friend who was like, he's like, have you done the cold plunge? I go, no. And he goes, it's like doing cocaine. I go, all right. So I get in the cold plunge. I do it for 5 minutes. I come out. I go, nothing's happening. This is cut with a lot of stuff.
That's an odd description to do something healthy for you.
I know. Well, listen, he's like, you won't believe the dopamine kick. And I'm like, it's not happening.
Not happening.
All right. Jim Montgomery, best of luck tonight. We really appreciate you calling in today. Thanks and good luck.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
There you go. Jim Montgomery. Very good.
He is a fan of the show, but most importantly, Hardy, he is a fan of Fred's.
Oh, I don't know if that's
you could see that. I was there that day when we talked to him during media day. He is a fan of Fred Touchers. He is.
Somebody has to be.
He is. Just like Missoula and you were together.
No. Don't cheapen his relationship with Missoula. Him and Missoula break bread. Missoula busts into other interviews to talk to Hardy.
I still can't get over that. We're both standing there. He shakes my hand because he knows we work together at some time. But Hardy, how are you? Did you try that book? Did you read the book I gave you?
Listen,
oh man, it was really something.
Yeah. Hardy had the wherewithal in the knowledge to hang with him with the references. All right, it is the Halloween time. That means that Hardy has found something for us, and we are only days away from young Nicholas doing what Hardy has made so famous. We will be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher.
opening kickoff to the final play.
Touchdown!
Your home of the pass.
Yes.
98.5. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
The Celtics beat Milwaukee last night 119-108 at TD Garden to improve to 4-0 on the season. Jason Tatum battled foul trouble in the second half, so other players stepped forward on offense. Jaylen Brown scored 30 points, and Joe Mazzulla saw Peyton Pritchard add 28 off the bench, and that includes another buzzer-beating 3 to end the third quarter.
It's a credit to Peyton. I mean, a lot of guys won't take that shot, but he just takes pride in it. I mean, the guy's just good. I mean, I thought he kept us in it in the first half, and he's just finding different ways to impact the game. Tonight it was his shooting and his defense. Sometimes it's his passing, but the kid's just a competitor, so I love watching him play.
Damian Lillard scored a game-high 33 points, and Giannis Antetokounmpo added 30 for the Bucks in the loss. The Celtics open up a 4-game road trip tomorrow night against Indiana. In hockey news, the Bruins had last night off. They wrap up their 3-game homestand this evening against Philadelphia at TD Garden. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The NFL trade deadline is a week from today. The Patriots made a move yesterday. They sent pass rusher Josh Uche to Kansas City for a 6th-round draft pick in 2026. The players are off until tomorrow. They'll be back at practice then, and all eyes will be on Drake May, who is officially in concussion protocol. On Monday Night Football, Pittsburgh beat the Giants 26-18, and at the World Series, the Dodgers beat the Yankees 4-2 at the stadium last night to take a 3-0 lead in the best of 7. Freddie Freeman, another home run for the win. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by John's Sewer and Drain Cleaning, keeping drains flowing for homes and businesses in the greater Boston area since 1976. Go to johnsewer.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
You want to talk sports? We want to talk sports.
Squeeze the chicken and open the mouth.
It's like we were meant for each other.
This is why you need us.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Toucher and Hardy.
Such an fantastic explosion.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
I don't know what this is.
Every Day is Halloween by
Ministry. This is
We'll hear
from
this again on Thursday.
Land of Rape and Honey.
This was a single. This is not on that album. This was released as a single. I'm forgetting if it was ever released on an album. I'm a big Ministry guy. I celebrate the entire catalog, even the early stuff that for years was disavowed.
Okay.
You told me this was the Pet Shop Boys. I would not argue with you.
Same era, same sound, absolutely.
I thought Ministry were
80s
way-
Ministry and 90s Ministry, two different things.
Yeah, I was unaware of that.
So when Psalm 69 came out, I remember hearing that album for the first time, and it was one of those, holy crap, what is this? Never heard anything like this before. It was great compared to
I
this.
prefer that era myself.
Yeah, because that I can't do. I can't do that.
All right, a
But
couple
good pull.
A
Nice-
couple
nice
things.
cut, Adam.
There you go. A couple things. Jim Montgomery was talking about how the Bruins are more focused on the playoffs, which I think is the right thing. I really don't think they ultimately. I think they know they'll make the playoffs, and I think they're just concerned about what happens when they're there. To the point that I believe now, looking back, that's the way they played. Why they played Florida the way they played Florida. That people were like, oh, they lost their composure and this and that. I think that was almost deliberate. That they wanted to go out and more so than even winning the game, they wanted to show that they would not be pushed around and be physical and and kind of assert themselves in that way because they knew they weren't playing them again for what? They played them the 2 times and they don't play them again until next year. So that's a long time. I don't know if this is – someone's going to get upset. It's either going to be John, Nick, or corporate the technical people.
IT guy?
Yeah, Riz sent this to you too, John.
Okay.
The camera was left on, so we watch Wallach pick his nose, then blow his nose, look at the mucus, and then get up, look around, go to the window, stretch, and grab his junk, which is a huge Wallach move, by the way.
But that hasn't happened today. It must have happened yesterday.
Okay, never forget the camera is always running. Nicholas, you
Nice
cannot leave that camera on. It's bad news because all that can happen is bad. It could either be Nothing, 99% of the time be nothing, but just never, camera should never be on when we don't know a camera's on, in that I don't want to be held responsible for everything I do at every minute of my life. It's hard enough on the air. I don't need a camera when I'm not on the air.
Jesus, Nick.
I'm telling you, I told you, Nick is going to get us fired one day, or me fired one day, because he's going to leave the mic on, or someone's going to leave a mic on. And remember the time Nick left the thing and it was picking up the audio of what we were saying in here?
I do. That was a scary moment because we had no idea what had happened that break before.
And
we
so
didn't think about that.
And the thing is that, like, whatever, I'm a horrible person who shouldn't have a job. But I mean, if it's a break and I don't know I'm being taped, I mean, I'm not censoring myself I'm not saying things geared to be put out to a mass audience.
Yeah, all it takes is one mistake,
and you know what?
And you're done.
And I say things in a room of two other guys that I wouldn't say broadcasting to an infinite audience, a potentially infinite audience. I'm weird in that sense. Like, Fred,
phony.
Fred, what do you mean you say these things? Yes, I do. And not all the time, but I do say things and use words that I would not use. And even in certain company, I wouldn't use those words. There's things I can say in front of, especially now in front of Hardy and John. I don't feel really limited in anything I can say in front of Hardy and John. So I'd be especially in trouble now. Before I had to censor myself a little bit with the company, but now I don't have to censor anything. So I'd really be in hot water. So, Nicholas, if I go down, you're going down with me, baby. I'm taking you down, Nick. And then you won't even have insurance for that fake heart of yours. All right. That's my dream.
Wallach was
you're on the street with no insurance.
Wallach was adjusting his junk on the YouTube channel there.
That's not the first time.
He does it. He does it all the time. You haven't been here around Christmas. Oh, Christmas Wallach is the best because he knows this is true too, John. So John knows, like, he's off to Philadelphia. Like, he's driving to Philadelphia. Oh, generally by himself. He's driving to Philadelphia.
Leaving the show and driving to Philadelphia.
Yeah,
immediately. Yeah,
and he gets like super loose, and he goes by the window, and he like stretches out. He does this all the time, and he grabs his balls. That's like vacation Wallach, and it happens around every Christmas. It's like the lights go on, the holiday pops comes to the Symphony Hall. And John's grabbing his junk by the window. It's like a whole situation. And by the way, Aaron Rodgers picked his nose and ate it on TV the other day.
I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't see Aaron Rodgers pick his nose and eat it?
On the sideline, yeah.
No,
Yeah, like
I did not see it.
He picked his nose and ate it.
How about
Just
that?
like the Smales kid. He absolutely did.
I should have placed a bet.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like he eats his boogers. That's what Aaron Rodgers is.
Oh, man.
And just one more thing while I'm thinking about it. Did you see that Baker Mayfield on, I guess it was Monday Night Football, put like a Zin in, like while he was on the sidelines? And there was question if he was going to be punished.
Oh, it's
for putting a legal product in his mouth.
It's not tobacco.
No, and I'm not even positive it's bad for you. Look, I don't want my kids putting Zin in. I don't understand. But I'm not even positive what the negative of, other than the addiction to nicotine. But yeah, it's not tobacco.
Right. No,
So-
I don't think.
You realize what these guys are putting in their bodies, correct, on a game day? Like the Zin, you should be happy that the Zin would have an effect on him.
4 milligrams of nicotine is the least of your worries,
Right.
in terms of what these guys are doing.
I mean, Derek Carr, when he tore his oblique or injured his oblique, he was saying that there wasn't time for them to administer what they had to administer for it to kick in for him to play, which I don't think was a Tylenol, you know? I think that they're, I don't know, opiates. And then if you're giving someone opiates before a game, you would have to give them, ladies and gentlemen, an amphetamine to counter the balance of the opiate.
I can't get the image of Jazz Christmas Wallach out of my head, just stretching out, getting ready for a long drive. Like, how am I going to...
Ho, 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 I got so many hoes. I got the one that lets sleep in my bed. But, honey, you want to sleep in my bed, you better come home with that green, baby. I want... That's only one cup of your bra. What's in the other cup? You hiding from me? Damn, woman.
Will you kiss her under the mistletoe? Jazz Christmas Wallach?
I don't need no mistletoe. My hoes love Jazz Wallach.
Okay. I got an email.
They respect me.
I got an email.
Unlike the old band leader, he didn't like that I put that spike in my vein. But you know what? I turned him on, and now he my lady.
Sweet.
I turned him out.
The band leader you turned out?
Yep.
Wow. Wow. To who?
Quite a reverse of the fortune. Wink, wink. To who?
Yeah.
Anyone with $5, Jack. Ric Flair, Jazz Wallach. Woo. I turned him out. Woo. All right, very good. Yeah, so you got an email. Go
Hi
ahead.
there, I hope you're well. I am a new recording artist trying to increase the number of listeners to my debut album, The Reading. As we are approaching Halloween, be really grateful if you could feature my spooky track, The Reaper, from the album on your radio show. I've attached artist image and artwork in case you need them. And then a little something about the artist, Terry Gilby, songwriter, solo recording artist based in Cambridge, UK. His debut album, The Reading, was released in November of 2022. So not really new anymore. It's about 2 years old, this album, but I just got the email a couple days ago. So,
okay,
he would like us to feature his spooky new track called The Reaper.
Okay, so I like that you're doing this because yesterday Eddie Trunk had the singer of Grand Funk Railroad on. And I'm not joking, he did. And so it's finally we're keeping pace. All right, here is the kid from England. Is this a parody song or is this supposed to be funny?
No.
Because you always want a real long intro. Yeah, plenty of room to talk up.
Gonna need a copy of this for rejoin music.
Absolutely. This is
Very little looping.
Very little looping. Real drums. Do you guys think? Am I being too cynical?
No, I mean, it could be, well, they could be real drums, but they're heavily affected. Pro Tools plugins, different processing.
I think it's natural acoustics, maybe, that he's just found, he's at some corner of some odd studio.
Yeah, I don't know if he used the drum room there at Sound City for this. It doesn't quite have that Tom Petty, Nirvana, Nevermind warmth to the drums.
No, he's like more tinny. Could you make him as tinny as possible? Boney Chin was my tour manager in Japan. He was skinny. We called him Boney Chin. Yeah. Boney Chin. All right.
If you're waiting for the hook, I never found it.
Oh. That's what's so scary. Is he recorded,
that's the spooky part of it.
He recorded a 4-minute song with no hook.
Waiting for the catchy part. It will not happen in this
Ryan
song.
says there is a hook buried in the last 30 seconds of the song. If you want to
I'll take Ryan's word for it.
Oh, come on. Skip to the last 30.
No.
Okay.
He said, let me.
That's where you put the hook, is
I don't
in
know.
the last 30 seconds of a song.
I don't know.
It's a reward. It's like an Easter egg.
The listener, exactly.
I don't know if he's even mentioned the Reaper yet.
No, well, his icy gripped is you cannot escape
He's
it.
been talking with him the whole time. Aren't you paying attention?
This is a really G-rated horror movie, by the way. It's just the Grim Reaper. Boney Chin. He's super skinny. He's gonna kill you, but he's not fat. He's skinny. Freaky, huh? He's got an eating disorder. Body dysmorphia. This is the last 30 seconds, by the way, which, Ryan, sounds a lot like everything I
Ryan,
just played.
if there's no hook in these last 30 seconds, you and I are going to have a lot.
The end. I don't mean to, and this will be the last I play of this ever.
What?
But this is.
We got 2 more days till Halloween.
We'll have to find something else. Listen to this note he finishes it with. Like, in all seriousness, listen to this. He could play any note.
Yeah.
The note that king.
He's bringing it back to the melodies.
I like it.
Slow it down a little bit.
Is skinny. Check him out like Kate Moss. You You got that? You're gonna have a bony chin, Jack. If you want it in my supply.
Boner chin and fat head over there. They get me my medicine.
Put some Kool-Aid on that bony chin of yours. Yeah. This kid. Yeah, sure, I'll put that out. Now come here. You want me to put that out for you, baby? Come sit next to me on the couch.
All right. When we come back, Bill Belichick, I don't even know where he did this, but he's got a lot to say about your New England Patriots, about how they're being run. He can't so much. He's got to attack Woody Johnson, which he might not be wrong about. I'm starting to think he might be on the money with Woody Johnson not being the greatest owner. But he has a lot to say about your Patriots, even when they're doing things he should have done a long time ago. And just a little hint, if what he really believes what he's saying, he should never have been a GM of any team at any point because he's misreading the market quite a bit. But anyway, we'll answer all these questions in just a moment.
You're listening to
for years.
All right, we are Toucher and Hardy, and we are brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with, like Ace and Paid in Full. You didn't know that, huh? I told you that. Yeah,
That's
see
right.
what I did, Adam?
That's right.
I told you that.
You schooled me.
Yep. We are brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And we can be watched on YouTube, which Nick sometimes doesn't even shut off the camera. So you can catch us doing all kinds of things, including while grabbing his unit, as he does, especially around the holiday season. All right. Bill Belichick is doing all this media stuff. He desperately wants to be a coach again, I guess. He is running around with this brilliant woman. They fell in love over their mutual love of philosophy. She's 24 years old. He's about to turn 73. There was a woman on the show that used to be the Maddie Show before his friend Benedict Arnoldham. Maddie, you want to hear about Maddie? Call Maddie and say something about yourself, and then you will hear something about Maddie.
Yeah,
you're good friends with Maddie, though, correct?
I am. I talk to Maddie once a month, once every other month.
He's still in Florida? Is that where he is?
Yeah, he's having a good time. He's retired.
Right.
But it is funny because he'll call under the guise of something, and then I'll go, and I'll answer the question, and then he'll go, yeah, I could have,
yeah.
And then he'll start talking about himself. But I like him very much. But the woman that Belichick is with, the 24-year-old, one of the women from the show that Maddie used to be on, she goes, I could be like a cheerleader. And she's like, I'm strong. I could be a cheerleader. And out of all things, that is what got the 24-year-old who's having sex with Bill Belichick going crazy. She's like, you couldn't be a cheerleader. And Bill liked it on social media because that's what Bill's doing now, is he's getting on social media to like his 24-year-old girlfriend's things. He could be having sex with lots of 24-year-olds, I would imagine, and then, not liking the stuff on social media or going out and taking selfies. He could just be having sex, in doing that if he so chose. But no, he's going all in. But
what she did was very clever, Fred. You're missing the wit and, dare I say, philosophy of clapping back at this person on the show, because she told that woman to kiss, get it, radio station, my national championship ring.
Oh, I thought it was like kiss, and then she was like, I'm going to say my ass, and then she was like, my national championship ring.
I initially thought that too, but then I got philosophical about it and
I
decided she was invoking the name of the radio station by saying kiss, my national championship ring that I got for cheerleading.
And the woman that and I'm saying woman because I don't remember her name. I'm not being cute or being dismissive of her. I think she was funny when I've heard her talk about this, because she's like, I could. She's like, I'm strong and I could. And her point was that the program that this girl was, what kind of national championship it is. It's just some, small school. And then I said, yeah, but that's not why you go to school. This is what I'll say to the woman who said she could do what the lady who's having sex with the old man is. That it might be a small school with sports, but that's not why you matriculate. You go to school to learn things like, I don't know, philosophy. Why? So you can get an old man to put it in you.
Is that it?
Yeah.
What is
so you can dazzle them on the commuter flight. You can be like, what is that, philosophy?
How do you feel philosophically about a May-December romance?
Again, all of this is very funny to me, and the main reason is someone came out to defend this relationship who had dated this woman before. He's only in his 60s. And he said, you guys are all idiots. You don't understand. She's so brilliant that this is why she relates to older men. And then I went, oh, what's her background? And then I found out, and I went, and she ain't so brilliant. Okay. All right, so here's the deal. Because really, at her age, what have you accomplished? You've either invented something, sold a startup, or you have a degree from some outrageous university, and she's 0 for 3. That's a strikeout. But nonetheless, everyone should indulge their fetishes. There's nothing wrong with it. All right, so Belichick, when he is not
Doing all of
wandering
this.
around absentmindedly
Yes.
shirtless in front of a ring camera.
She probably deactivated that by now.
Well, she doesn't. She's not got that place anymore. You insane?
That's true too.
Yeah, she's long
Yeah,
gone. That place is over.
Different ring camera. Yeah.
I hope he marries her, and then his kids have to go to the wedding and pretend that they're into her getting half the money. But nonetheless, Bill Belichick, I don't even know what he's on. It doesn't matter. He's on something. And, the Patriots just traded Josh Uche because, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? They're not making the playoffs. And guess what? Josh Uche serves no purpose for the future of this franchise. Okay? Josh Uche, these are moves this team should have been making for years.
Yeah. Keep in mind, Bill was faced with the exact same thing with Uche last year and kept him.
And Judon and kept him.
Yes.
And all these guys. Bill's got himself fired with his personnel moves. Yes, he did. He got the reason he's fired. I don't doubt he can coach. I don't know if he's the best. But, I mean, I don't doubt that he's better than most. But he's a terrible, terrible, terrible personnel guy, and he's the exact reason the Patriots are where they are right now. And here is what Bill Belichick had to say as he continues to blatantly go after his enemies, which I would be enjoying more if he wasn't desperately trying to get a coaching job again. If he was just going around like just stray firing everything, then that would be great. But he seems to be building himself up, which I don't care for. All right, here we go.
Look, when you have a good team, I think if you can acquire an asset for not without giving up a lot, that's a good move. I don't. What did they give him for Uche?
Sixth.
A sixth. Okay, so Uche is at the end of his contract this year. He'll be a free agent. If they don't re-sign him, then they'll get a comp pick, which would probably be a sixth anyway. So really, they didn't give up anything other than they would have to wait a year to get that pick back. So I assume it was a 25 sixth. If it was a 26 sixth, then honestly, then they didn't give up anything in my mind.
All right, it's a 26 sixth round pick.
He's got surprising power for his size. He's got excellent quickness and a good get off, and he has some flexibility in coverage. So I think it's a good addition for a team that needs another pass rusher, which everybody does. Josh can do that. He'll definitely help them. Honestly, I don't think they gave up very much for, and in the end, they'll probably be able to get back for Uche whatever they put into it.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. And here's the deal: is that let's take a look at what else has happened. DeAndre Hopkins. What do you think DeAndre Hopkins got traded for? To the to the same Kansas City organization. How much? What do you think DeAndre Hopkins? What was the compensation for DeAndre Hopkins?
I'm trying to remember.
No, don't just guess. What was the compensation? If the sixth round for Uche was so bad, what was the compensation for DeAndre Hopkins?
Third, fourth?
It was a fifth.
Yeah. There you go.
It was a fifth. It was a fifth round pick. Devontae Adams was a conditional third round pick. Amari Cooper was a sixth round pick. What does Bill Belichick think is going on? What does he believe is going on? By the way, the Bills got Cooper in a 2025 sixth round pick for a third rounder and a seventh rounder. What does he think Josh Uche is going to go for? And what's the point of keeping him if they're not going to re-sign him? And how is that benefiting Uche? If you're Uche, wouldn't you want to go to Kansas City? Who's losing in this situation?
The other part of it is him evaluating Uche and how good he is. I mean, we're going to have Andrew Callahan in here in about a half an hour, and he'll say the same thing. Uche's only out there for, 50% of the snaps? Maybe less? He's not altogether valuable. He has good get-off, great, but the man had 3 sacks in 15 games last year. I mean, he had one really big year. And then last year he wasn't very good, and this year he wasn't very good. So, I mean, how much is he worth exactly? This speaks to what we were just talking about, Bill's evaluation of talent. Bill drafted this guy. He obviously liked this guy and thinks he's a lot better than the rest of the National Football League thinks.
Oh, yeah, just like he did with the guy he took above A.J. Brown and
N'Keal Harry.
A.J. Brown.
By the way, just released from the Minnesota practice squad a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he took it because he fell in love with what the Arizona State coach had to say. It was A.J. Brown, and who's the other guy that got taken right there?
Oh,
DK Metcalf.
Yes.
Who would have known that A.J. Brown or DK Metcalf, because they're so small in stature and slow, who could have figured out that they might be good NFL players? Oh, just like he took Tyquan Thornton, who not only can't get out of coverage, but he can't catch the ball when it's in his hands, that he took him in front of George Pickens, who went to Alabama.
Best receiver Pittsburgh has.
Even though he can't get his left foot in. Did you see that touchdown they overruled?
I saw it on replay. I didn't see it live.
I saw it live. It was pretty funny. Pickens makes a great catch.
Yeah.
He double taps his right leg, but he somehow keeps his left leg in the air and doesn't get it down for the touchdown.
But still, best receiver on a 6-2 team, George Pickens.
Yes.
But the stuff that they're doing now is the stuff that we're all crying for them to do last year. It's like, okay, you're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything.
They weren't going anywhere or doing anything last year, but Bill's like, nope, not trading anybody.
No, because I want the wins record more than anything else. Like everyone knew, 6-7 games into the season, you're not making the playoffs. You're not turning this thing around. This should have, again, he went I don't understand how Patriot fans still defend him when you can be a big fan of a guy and what he did for your organization, but he left it in tatters. When he went out and went crazy in free agency 3 years ago, he didn't do that to win a championship. He did that to get the wins record. There's no way he thought bringing in Aguilar in a collection of tight ends was going to make the team a Super Bowl team.
I think he did. And we've had other writers come in here and talk about this. He believes that his system works. He believes that he could bring anybody in, or he believed, past tense, he could bring anybody in, coach him up, and make it happen. And that system, that way the Patriots had of doing things while he was there, they were convinced that it was an all-encompassing thing that would lift everybody up. When in reality, you look back, of course, it was Brady. So I think, going back to what you were just saying, Fred, he brought all those people in, and he was convinced that he could mold that into a contender.
But ironically, in his relationships, he's willing to be molded if he just finds the intellectual equal of himself.
Or superior.
To
learn from.
You're never too old to learn, and that's how you keep young. Is dining over the great philosophers of our time.
See, getting lost in a corn maze is a metaphor for the path that we weave through life.
Yeah, that picture was golden.
Can you imagine if you're one of his kids and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm happy for the kid that's far, far away in Washington. Doesn't have to deal with this.
I'm concerned about where all this money's going, and not even selfishly for me to get the money. I don't want her getting the money.
Yeah.
I would be confident, this kid, that the safeties coach, that if he listens to this show,
Brian,
that Brian's like, all right, dude, yeah, like, I understand. He's like, I'm with you. There's no way that I could be completely wrong. What do I know? I'm putting myself in the guy's shoes. But if my dad, who Bill Belichick's not that much younger than, was out taking selfies with the 24-year-old, if I found out he was banging a 24-year-old, I'd be like, oof, all right, he's an adult, he can do what he wants. But if he was running around like on social media putting pictures of him and a 24-year-old up, it would skeeze me out to no end. To no end. Because Bill Belichick and my dad are similar physically. You understand? Like, if I went like Robert Redford in my father or Warren Beatty in my father, there's a huge difference. Some arts dealer that's the Prince of Monaco, there's a big difference.
And probably also bring up a little bit of jealousy, too. How many trips to the corn maze do you think his kids got while he was coaching football? Hey, it's Saturday in October. Can we go apple picking, go to a corn maze? What are you out of your mind? All right, I got to get ready for the Jets tomorrow.
That's actually a good point, is that he probably was like an absentee father. And maybe that's why he brought the kids into the fold. But yeah, and now instead of like being around the grandkids and everything and like settling into that lifestyle, he's out, maybe he'll make a new family. And when they graduate high school, he'll be 100. Legitimately 100. 6th grade graduation.
Well, Yeah, if she wants to accomplish a little bit more and doesn't want to have, babies as a lot of women do until she's in her early 30s, then yeah, you'll be 100 years old when they graduate high school.
Again, the age difference between him and her is me to a child being born this year. The age difference between them is me to a child being born this year.
Oh.
It's no one else thinks this is fantastic. It's the greatest thing of all time. That this guy who's so judgmentally stood up in front of everyone and yelled, "Oh, Fred, you got a bone to pick with Belichick." Yeah, he's a dick. And he's a dick who's still a dick and is running around doing stuff that's so open to ridicule. And how everyone's not ridiculing him for this stuff is beyond me. He deserves every ounce of ridicule that he gets, in my opinion. All right. When we come back, I don't know what it is, but Adam and Hardy got something cooked up for me. And then we will play another one, Bites the Dust. We will be back in one moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Celtics got 30 points from Jaylen Brown and 28 from Peyton Pritchard off the bench. They're 4-0 after a 119-108 win over the Milwaukee Bucks.
fans start their day. Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. And we're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. All right, what's going on, Hardy?
We got some Paul Finebaum for you. There's been a lot to talk about, of course, this college football season. Nobody loves college football more than Paul Finebaum's audience. But sometimes things get in the way of their phone calls. And even Paul is not immune to distraction when things happen during a phone call. So we've got a couple of calls here. Same caller, but there's a development that you will hear kind of take place as Paul realizes what's going on here.
Yeah, because Paul Finebaum has got his own universe. If you listen to him, he's very successful, but he's not on in regular markets, really, where he's successful. He's on like 1 billion, like, hick markets. It's a very SEC. Hi.
Man, I love you.
It's a very SEC, like, concentrated show. And again, I've been on Paul Finebaum's show. He's great. They get a kick out of it when we make fun of the callers. And, all right, let me hear what happened. So things happen organically, so it's hard sometimes to understand what's going on because the callers are fighting with each other and so on and so forth. And Paul's kind of just, like, letting it all happen, which is great.
Hey, Paul.
Hey.
Hi, Paul. All right, good. All right, what's going on?
You've got it.
Okay, I have it.
You have it.
All right. Oh, here we go. Oh, yes, I see it. All right, here we are. Paul Finebaum.
Oh, I watched, what's his name?
Okay, so what happens often is they're so ramped up that picture a very overweight gerbil on a wheel making their brain go. So, like, the gerbil starts going fast and then immediately tires out. Like, so, like, Paul!
Oh, I watched, what's his name? Stephen A. Smith. He wants to keep
the black.
But he's one of the good ones.
Well, he's a New York black.
You said he's one of the good ones about somebody calling the Finebaum show.
If he does that.
I almost,
oh man,
I almost soiled myself. It was a month or two ago.
Yeah.
Oh. All you got to do is spend a little bit of time with people from the South and realize that's a very commonly uttered phrase.
Yeah, like when Darius Rucker comes on was my point. They're like, all right, slow down. I know what you're thinking. Listen to what the man has to say.
Because
he's one of the good ones.
Jesus.
Paul, Stephen A. Smith. I wonder, and I'm serious, I wonder if Paul's got to be like on. This is selfish, but I'm wondering as a broadcaster if Paul, because Paul's real smart, if Paul has to be like, oh Jesus, like when they start talking about someone, a minority, if he's got to start like being like super on guard, because it could go any which way.
Oh, I watched, what's his name? Stephen A. Smith. He wants to keep crowing that Deion Sanders should be up for Coach of the Year. Will you
okay, I just.
Now you know why we're listening.
Now I know why we're listening to this. And ironically, everything he would accuse Stephen A. Smith of is happening in the background at his home. Those who cast the stones are in the biggest class houses, as often is the case.
Crowing that Deion Sanders should be up for Coach of the Year. Will you shut up? I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Hey, Vance, that's a cat. Obviously, he's in the middle of brain surgery. Any job you have where a cat can just be like going around, and where the of all times for you to be howling.
You're probably not calling in from your hedge fund.
No,
you're probably not calling in from the surgical suite.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you're not in the top floor of any building when the cat is howling in the background. And I don't doubt that someone's tempting the animal with a member of the opposite sex that's in heat. You want to watch him hump? Now ain't the time to watch him hump. I'm on the phone with Paul. Save the humping for when I'm done. Paul, there's a musk in the air. It's a pheromone they release when they about to hump.
Shut up! I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Paul, I am so embarrassed. These cats are going at it, and we're filming. But this is for another time. I'm trying to tell you about the problems with Stephen A. Smith.
For Coach of the Year. Will you shut up? I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Hey, Vance, exactly who is there?
My damn cat.
Oh, okay.
And so, anyway.
My cat, Adolf.
It's history.
His name's Arian.
My damn cat.
Aryan A Nation.
That's right.
All right. And I take it he calls that there's more to this.
Yeah.
That there's a second part of this. Yeah. So here comes the man. He's on Paul Finebaum show.
Your show the last
Hey, Vance,
days,
out of pure curiosity, what type of cat do you have?
All right. Paul's the greatest because to the novice out there, you're going, what the hell? Who cares? But Paul knows that he has hooked himself, an idiot, and now it's time to reel him in. And how do you capture an idiot? What do you lay the trap with? Open air. Just open-ended questions. These are the ways that you lure the rat into the cage, as it were. And you know you're a real dum-dum when there's someone like who Tuscaloosa listeners are going, listen to this idiot. Oh, Paul, don't mind that. We're just torturing something.
Shut up. I'm trying to talk to Paul.
We're just taping the M80s to it. Don't worry about it, Paul. The pre-Halloween scare.
Your show the last
Hey, Vance,
days,
out of pure curiosity, what type of cat do you have?
They're two feral cats, and I brought them in the house in 2006, Paul.
They're still around?
The house in quotations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're feral.
That's right. The house.
Some call it a lean-to.
That's right. No windows on
16 years, they're feral. 16 years in your domesticated situation, they're feral. They're feral, Paul. I've had them for 16 years. Wild. They don't care for the water.
Yeah, they're old. Good God, these things are they're like Jim. But
Jim is someone on the show. I don't know. There's someone who's been on the Paul Finebaum show for a long time, I guess.
What are the chances are these are the original cats that he found? Or that these are not just two other cats that they just come in and out of his life?
Well, it's hard to tell, you understand, Paul, because one was feral, but the other is an outlaw. And he'll oftentimes be in disguise.
Paul, these are wolf cats. This is a cat. These ain't inbred. Now, I'll tell you, there's all kinds of animals in there. Their heads can turn all the way around, Paul. They've obviously at some point mated with an owl. These are cat owls, or I call them cows. You'll notice the chirp that they give. Hoo, hoo, hoo. It's almost a cry of pain for saying, what Lord would allow this to be created, Paul? Paul, you ever see the Isle of Dr. Moreau? We'll put that in a trailer in Arkansas. And that's what you got.
I'm trying to talk to Paul.
You damn monstrosity. You ungodly creation.
Paul, we're experimenting with putting sperm in stuff and just seeing what pop out. Woo! She's a blowing. Here we go. Ooh, I didn't expect that. It's got gills. Well, that ain't gonna live here in this kind of atmosphere. I don't know. Put it in, but throw it in the swamp out back. See if it lives.
See if it'll take on the life of a tadpole or a pollywog.
It seems to be trying to build some kind of cocoon. I don't know. It's going to metamorphosize. Nope. That's just his crap. It's dead.
They're two feral cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been sitting around here for 16 years. They keep changing color. They're chameleons.
They're still around?
Yeah, they're old. Good God, these things are like they're like Jim. But, and I'm sorry, Jim.
Jim Crow, the last good law this nation had.
Yeah, they're old. Good God, these things are like they're like Jim. But, and I'm sorry, Jim. I'm just playing with you, brother. I'm just teasing. I like you, Jim.
All right, then he plays another one, bites the dust. All right, very good. Everyone loves him. Andrew Callahan is coming on the show, and he will join us to talk everything about the Patriots after their big win coming up. We'll be back in just...
Who stole the show.
Brown gets there somehow before falling out of bounds, gets it away to Derek White. Swung to Pritchard, another crazy deep three is good. Are you serious with this guy?
He's that dude. That is Sean Grandy and Cedric Maxwell here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Peyton Pritchard made 8 threes on his way to a 28-point night. Celtics beat Milwaukee 119-108 at TD Garden. An 18-3 run spanning the third and fourth quarters put this one away. Celtics are 4-0. They visit the Indiana Pacers tomorrow night. Bruins will be in action this evening at TD Garden against Philadelphia. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots visit Tennessee Sunday. Yesterday they beat the trade deadline by sending Josh Uche to Kansas City. It's for a 6th-round draft pick in 2026. The players had yesterday and today off. They're back at work tomorrow. On Monday Night Football, Pittsburgh beat the New York Giants 26-18. And at the World Series, Freddie Freeman, another home run. Dodgers beat the Yankees 4-2 to take a 3-0 lead. Freeman has at least one homer in all 3 games. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99 restaurants where kids eat free on Halloween. Visit the Nines for lunch or dinner, and kids can get a free meal from the kids menu with every adult entree purchased. You gotta love the Nines. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Get
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5 The Sports Hub app. Get the app. Now, more Tuncher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
It was a good football team we played against yesterday and presented a bunch of problems, as I said on Friday. Anytime you see Aaron Rodgers on the other side of the ball, it's you got to put 4 quarters and more if need be. Very proud of just the way the guys responded. In saying that, you watch the film, there were definitely still plays that we left out there.
I was there on Sunday. I took my boy there. My boy's insisting he's going to watch Thursday Night Football.
Are you?
If he does, he's going off to college well, we'll see. But 2.5 years, theoretically, he's going off to college. I don't have many of these games left with him.
You said yesterday you wouldn't. You said yesterday it was a pill and lights out.
But my love of my child, and because he sleeps over on weeknight games, because I'm not there in the morning to take him to school. But we make a special. Last night it was under the guise of the World Series. But I'll watch it if he wants to watch it. I will watch it with him. I can't say I'll be invested emotionally, but I will be watching. Andrew Callahan is the Patriots reporter, which is unfair. He's not. He's part of a team. He's a Patriots reporter and columnist for the Boston Herald. Doug Kyde is a partner, and every much bit as valuable as Andrew.
Yes.
Or Andy, as he likes to be called.
Found out the hard way that is not the case. I said, "Hey, Andy Callahan," and he gave me a dope slap to the back of my head as he was walking behind my chair.
You won't call me by my familiarity name. You'll call me Daddy.
It was a little lower. Little love tap, right pec. You can tell Hardy's been hitting the gym. Has your son, Fred, by the way, realized what you've done to him, making him a Jets fan? Has anyone called child services on themselves?
I put a picture of us on Instagram at Fred Toucher, just to make me more human. Look at me, I'm out with my kid.
It's good for your brand.
It really is good for my brand. It softens me, so I can talk
really
more about Belichick getting in that 24-year-old of his. And then people go, it's okay because Fred's got kids that he spends time with. But anyway, yeah. I wasn't going to let him be a Patriots fan. Here's the thing, is that he lives here. He's conceivably from here. He was born in Beth Israel Hospital, as was his sister, is what they're called. His sister. And so he is free to like whatever he wants. Now, he is a Cardinals fan, but he's more of a baseball fan. He'll sit and watch baseball more than any other sport, which is odd.
For his age, that's the big upset.
But it's the game that he likes the most. But he is a Cardinals fan, and I did kind of cajole him into being a Jet fan. He had the opportunity not to be, but I've really moved him in that direction. And this is the first year that he got hooked into it. And from my experience, because I keep going all right, well, that's it. When they lost to Buffalo, I'm like, that's it. He's not going to like him anymore. And he was back. And then when they lost to Pittsburgh, I'm like, all right, he's not going to like him anymore. But he's like, I really want to go to the game. So I take him and his friend and my friend at the game. And when they lost that game, I'm like, he's not going to watch it. And I'm like, I'm not watching it on Thursday. Are you? He's like, I'm watching it. He's like, and I go, all right.
Over.
I go, all right. Now you can't shed it.
If he's back after what happened to them last weekend, that's it. It's over. He's wearing that Sauce Gardner uniform for life.
It's like a band that you liked when you're 16. The team you like when you're 16, you're saddled with, and it's an emotional reaction. Because Lord knows I've tried not to like that team several times. Even, I'm glad, I guess it's not a big deal they didn't get Trevor Lawrence, but I tell the story. Even the last game of the season, when they scored, Frank Gore scored a touchdown at the end of the game to seal a meaningless victory that knocked them out of the first spot pick of the draft, I instinctually was like, hooray.
We all have that. We all have that. I was a long-suffering Red Sox fan before 2004. I've been there. Hardy's been a Detroit fan.
But the
Red
Sox would they were in the, they'd make a World Series.
I would try not to like that team for long periods of time, and it doesn't work. All I'm saying is
the only organization that's worse is the Lions. And that's the only organization that you could really put in the same hat as being a modern-day Jet fan.
But you've never taken your son to a Lions game. You wouldn't do that to him either, would you?
Oh, no, he's been to several. The Lions, I'll get news for you, Andrew. Going to a Lions game from Boston is easier than going to a Patriots game. You fly there, you stay at a hotel. The stadium's strangely enough,
walk over
in the city.
It's fantastic.
In the city.
I remember going to New Orleans to catch the Patriots there. Oh, what a great joy it is to walk out of the Superdome and walk back to your hotel. It's fantastic.
You can crap on Detroit all you want, but I got news for you. It's a much better game day experience than it is here. But the stadium's in Foxborough, which is a wonderful town, but it's not an ideal place to stick 65,000 people on a Sunday afternoon.
Greektown, great neighborhood down there.
Greektown is where Ford Field is, right? Yeah,
right. Yeah,
right there.
Down there.
Yeah, Greektown's a great. It's a million restaurants and bars. I'm comfortable in the city. I know it, and so I like it. Andrew Callahan is brought to you by DN Van Lines. Moving your home or business and need a recommendation from someone? How about almost the entire staff here at the Sports Hub and the Sports Hub itself? Yes, they moved the station too. DNVanlines.com. They moved me. They did an excellent job. Andrew, of course, as you heard, is in studio. Andrew, that in all seriousness was a big win. I think a big win for this regime. They had faced adversity, the coaching staff, the organization, with the whole soft thing that got blown out of proportion, in my opinion. And they came back and they won in a way that was the furthest thing from soft to a 7-point favorite. A 7-point favorite on the road. They 2 drives to win that game. That was impressive. Your thoughts?
Completely agree. I mean, we can say it's both an ugly game, 2-6 team versus now another 2-6 team. But in the end, the Patriots made the plays they had to make. And that was that drive at the end, after losing your starting quarterback, after getting called out by your head coach, and really, again, still without a running game. Like, the best part to me was, in the second half, they finally played the football that they said they were going to all week. Like, they stopped the Jets, who got 3 yards per carry. They ran the ball well enough, and they made clutch plays at the end. That's a tough team, and especially 4th and goal at the 1. Like, say what you will about the NFL, the Patriots, whatever. Like, this is the beauty of that game. The week you're called out as soft, you have to go and make the toughest play in football. Game on the line, your identity on the line, your pride on the line. They went and did it. They won. Good for them.
Yeah. All right. So that happens. And while I'm thinking about it, we played Belichick's audio. This is not the greatest interviewing technique, but I'm going to switch gears here. Josh Uche was traded for 2026 6th-round pick. Belichick was saying, he was out of his mind. No, he wasn't. He was just saying that it was a bad trade. And he would know because he's built such a great squad here. What is your feeling on moving Uche and the return they got?
So I thought Uche was going to be moved last year when Bill was still here. Obviously, he stayed. They re-signed him to a 1-year, $3 million contract this offseason. I don't bring that up as filler. I bring that up as to say that's basically what his value was in the open market. And him and his representation claim they took less to be here. And if he did, good for him. A lot of players wouldn't do that. But I can't imagine that he passed up double, which would then bring him to what? $6 million. So the league at large told you, we don't really value the way Josh Uche is valued in New England. And even in New England, they only gave him $3 million. So to Belichick, I would say you could have gotten more yourself a year ago when he was coming off of that big season. What was it, 11.5 sacks in 2022?
Something like that.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he's a situational player. I think he'll play better in Kansas City. There was just something about the system here in the fit that just never got the best out of him, because you look at him and be like, he's clearly a talented guy.
What percentage of the snaps does he play?
He has never crossed 38% of snaps in a single season.
Okay, so that shows where they valued him here.
But here's the thing, though. Not all snaps are created equal, right?
Right.
Like, you could run up your snaps in garbage time, and when he's playing third down means more than 1st and 10 in the first quarter, right?
The point is,
he's a pass rushing specialist for the Patriots. All right,
Yeah.
so which, by the way, you can make a lot of money doing. I mean, if you're a pass rushing specialist,
you better get home. He only had 3 sacks last year.
I don't know what Belichick's talking about, but I am a little obsessed with this, and that Patriot fans are still fond of him.
I mean, he brought them 6 Super Bowls. that's
yeah,
an easy one.
but you can like someone and then go like, wow, they've turned into like a real piece of crap. So, what do you make? Were you a Patriots fan growing up?
I was.
Okay, what do you make of him? To take off, you're not a journalist right here, because this is an emotional question. Just like I said, when you're 16, the team you like is the team you like for the rest of your life. What do you make of him going out and crapping on everything the Patriots do?
Look, I want to go back a second, because I think people will hear that yes and then jump to like, you're the 33-year-old ball guy I've known as a reporter. Like, that doesn't count. Like, some of the greatest memories I had as a kid was watching the New England Patriots. And I'm not even talking Super Bowls, AFC championships. Bethel Johnson returns a kickoff. Halftime 2003, they're at Indianapolis. I think it was week 9. Goes for a touchdown. I'm running around my yard like the house is on fire. Okay? Like that excited about what was going on. You fast forward, I think Belichick acknowledged finally after Patriots win, which granted there's only been 2, gave Jacoby Brissett credit for the drive at the end, showed some toughness on defense. No word about Mayo. I think his contentions are with Gerard and with ownership for obvious reasons. When you go to recent comments by Kraft, who agreed with Belichick to do this whole display of a mutual parting of the ways when Bill was fired, something that Robert recently revealed in another unforced error, PR-wise, by the Patriots on a podcast, nonetheless, about coming together and mending fences, reveals, no, I actually fired him. And Gerard, of course, is on his staff and replaced Bill in a way that obviously Belichick wasn't fond of. So I think that's what it is for him. This isn't business for Belichick. It's personal.
Okay, but that would be great if he was just going roughshod, but he also wants a coaching job. So, so here's my thing, is that he, for so many years, passed himself off as superior to everyone else. That's correct. You can agree that he handled himself that way. To the media, the way he carried himself, he was better than everyone, correct?
I think, yes. In the end, the arrogance, you saw it at 29 and 39 when you're rolling out rosters going, you think you're going to win with this? Like, you're the greatest coach of all time, but no one can do that.
But beyond even, like, as a coach, like, he as being, like, a superior human being to the plebeians out there. Do you agree with that?
So I don't have enough personal experience, Fred, to be able to tell you.
His public persona.
I'll tell you this. I know there are folks, and this happened to me too, see you at the end of the hallway, like you've heard many times about Robert Kraft, or in the airport or in an elevator, and guy just looks right past you, doesn't say a word. So that's the best I can speak to what I think you're getting to. That's it. And this is not some sort of great sin, oh my God, the 11th commandment that he broke, like saying hello to your neighbors going down the hallway.
No. But don't you find it odd that, and then I'll stop with Belichick and we'll focus on the Patriots. Do you find it odd that this guy that ran around acting superior to everyone else is now taking selfies in corn mazes and taking petty shots at his old team?
Yeah.
Like me taking petty shots at my old partner is on brand. And I'm still competing.
No one holds you up as
no one.
As a
I
great
don't.
person.
I hold myself up. I'm an alcoholic mess. But I don't hold myself up. That's how I sleep at night.
This question feels like a corn maze. What was that doing? Belichick? What is happening?
But
there's a question in there.
It's coming. Don't worry.
Don't you find
you
it
relax, Andrew?
Or don't you think it's hypocritical that someone who acted so superior to everyone else is now behaving like this?
See, there it is.
Or at least open to ridicule.
I don't know how he's reacted to any kind of ridicule. I am not surprised that he has sometimes taken the low road because that's what he did as the head coach. Like Eric Mangini takes a head coaching job in a way that his boss does not approve, the boss being Bill Belichick, after the 2006 season. Or after 2005, excuse me. Belichick locks him out of the building. You can't come and get your things. This guy who was supposedly raised at your knee because I don't like the job that you took. You'll be in the division. You made my life harder. I'm not surprised that that person now in the media with an ability to take shots at Woody Johnson, who came out right of his mouth when they were talking to McAfee yesterday. First thing, not the head coach, not the quarterback, certainly. I'm not surprised, no, Fred, that Belichick is being petty.
That's the answer because, no, maybe people and fans wanted to think of him as this great person and being above all that, but he's always been this way. And there's another reporter whom I won't mention because I don't know if he's ever talked about it publicly, but got shut out of Gillette Stadium for something that happened, and that really messed with his life. And Bill didn't need to do that. That wasn't necessary. The transgression wasn't even a transgression. Someone was just doing their job, but then they got barred from Gillette for a time. So I think that type of petty stuff is on brand. You're just seeing it now, and you don't have this chorus of voices watching him coach every week, immediately running to his defense saying, you don't know what you're talking about, he's a great person. No, this is the way he's always been.
Well, because he can't win games, right? You're in the media just like the rest of us.
Yeah,
you got the spotlight on. We're listening to what you're saying. You're evaluating.
There's no scoreboard for him now
I
that he can point to and say, and fans can point to and say, see, doesn't matter because look at that. Well, look at what? Look at him going on Pat McAfee? No.
Yeah, and the thing is that you can rest on your history of being the greatest coach of all time if you're resting on your history of being the greatest coach of all time. Like if you're like, I've done. No, but if you're like, no.
Oh,
my point is, if you're like, I've done it all.
Yeah.
Like F you, like it's done. It's been done. I'm done. But this like desperate clinging is not is not a heroic way of ending your career. Like it's this gnawing to get back into things and stuff. It would be great if Belichick just put his feet up and just sat back and went, none of you are going to win this many Super Bowls in my lifetime. And if you do, I'll be dead. Double Freedom Rockets, F you, hey, Kraft. And just like started like openly attacking everyone. It would be fantastic. It would make my job a ton easier. But it's still like trying to have it both ways. It's being snarky without like coming right out and saying it. It's being so fallible in your personal life while like not any self-reverence, like, or any acknowledgement that like, yeah, dude, this is all weird. Like I know this isn't on brand. Everything is completely off brand.
So two things on this. Number one, I would say something I said a while ago, that I think if you talk long enough into a microphone, like you can't put on forever. People pick up on who you are more likely than not. You're starting to see that with Belichick. I think, again, locally, we're hypersensitive to this. We know the guy. You understand his motives. People are very aware of how the dynasty buried him, everything that I just mentioned with Kraft going on the podcast and other instances, that the guy probably feels aggrieved. But number two, doesn't it say to you, Fred, that you sound upset about a guy you have open disdain for? Is just not smarter than this, because you can say whatever you want about him being petty or a jerk or this and that. You know he's a football genius and an intellectual aside from that. And you're like, why are you doing these dumb mistakes? Why are you making these unforced errors that I get on Gerard Mayo all the time, PR-wise, which is not like my job. I'm just saying, hey, this media stuff isn't that hard. You're doing the same to Belichick, and that's a credit and a respect to what you think of him as being a smart person who, in this instance, in your opinion, just can't get out of his own way.
Yes, it's troubling you on your overall
you want better
view
for
of
Bill.
humanity.
That's what this is. It's out of love, I think.
No, I don't like hypocrites. I don't like phony people. I think it's incredibly easy to hide under a veil of look at how wonderful I am when no one is, and then I think he's exposing himself to what he truly is on a big scale, and I don't know why everyone isn't just saying like, you phony prick, like look at you, you're worse than me. You're not better than me. You're worse than me. But that's my own nonsense.
I don't think you'll hear that anywhere nationally. I don't hear it a ton locally, except when I come in here, to be honest.
You could go see Tony Hinchcliffe palling around with Pat McAfee. You think ESPN likes that? Talking about eating cats and dogs, that Tony Hinchcliffe.
Let's
with
talk
his
about
watermelon chokes during the rally.
Let's talk about receivers. Let's talk about what's going on with Drake May. Let's talk about
We'll talk about other stuff. We'll get it. We'll dig into it. Don't you worry. All right, Andrew Callahan.
We got to get him off this Belichick thing.
I got a couple stats.
He's in a weird place.
Get me off of it. I'm going crazy. All right, we'll be right back.
More Toucher and
We're Toucher and Hardy. Andrew Callahan is here. Andrew Callahan, how is Drake May? He wanted to come back in the game. Did he? I guess this is an obvious question, but did he fail concussion protocol, or did they just play it safe, not putting him back in?
I can't say because I wasn't in the room, but you typically don't go into concussion protocol unless you have a concussion.
Okay, I just was wondering if because I wouldn't play Drake May if he was even like lightly wounded. I wouldn't keep him in a game at this stage of his career.
Yeah, the games don't matter all that much. His health matters a crap ton
because
more.
I've seen the replay a bunch of times. I can't even see where his head was hit. So like, I don't know.
On the 18-yard scramble, he gets helmet to helmet.
Yeah.
At the end of that, as he's
I couldn't see contact.
Well, this is your Jets fandom blinding you.
Yeah, eyes don't see so
Yeah,
good.
Jamie and Sherwood could never do that. To Drake.
I am a huge Jamie and Sherwood fan, after all.
He gets
and the game is over, but I just didn't see like a lot of contact.
I question whether you've watched it a bunch. He gets hit in the back of the head.
He's such a good guy.
With his face mask or
I think
his
it's
helmet?
face mask to the back of his helmet.
his forehead.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem like a lot of contact.
All right. So protocol-wise.
Are you calling him soft?
See.
Not in the least.
Callahan came with it.
I was wondering if they were. I was trying to give the organization credit for protecting their best asset in protecting it. I was actually trying to give the new regime some credit.
For the record.
But you're typical Boston media, twisting everything negative, just like you just did with Belichick.
It's the only time.
Should have heard him off there.
You made him very uncomfortable during the break. That was
let's move forward. Just here to poke Fred. That's all. No, look, he's in concussion protocol. They should, with every concussion, take as long as they need to let him recover. If he's fully healthy, I'd be happy playing him behind that line against Tennessee.
Oh, no, I would too. I was just wondering that particular game.
No, just protect his brain.
Okay, so
but just so we're clear, let's see if I can grab it real quick. In the moment, as Bob and Zoe were calling the play, Zoe saw that he was hurt, and if you watch the entirety of the play, he's slow to get up afterward, and like Zoe knew, not even watching it on
Why
TV.
didn't the eye in the sky yank him out of there right away?
Here it is. Hold on a second. Just listen to Zoe at the end of this. You can hear this.
Made. Got back. Feels pressure. Runs straight ahead. Yeah. Still on his feet past the 30. Across the 35. Into feet first line. He split a pair of defenders. Both hands on the football like a fullback. And then he runs it with a slide to the 38-yard line.
He's up slow. Took a shot there at the end. Good job, kid. Crazy legs, May.
So you have an eye in the sky who's there to protect people after taking hits like that. Zoe saw him. He wasn't 100% right. Why not take him off the field then?
It's a great question, and my colleague at the Herald, Doug Hyde, said the ref had enough time and wherewithal to ask, hey, are you okay, after that play? Because May was down legitimately for 3 to 4 seconds. Teammates are trying to pull him up. He's not one to exaggerate or dramatize anything. And they didn't do anything about it. No flag, no eye in the sky. They let him finish the drive when he took a sack later on. So I don't know. They missed things, but this seemed clear to me in the press box in that moment.
Okay, I'm not being cute about this. Which way were they going on the field? Left to right or
Left
right
to
to
right.
right?
Well,
yeah,
depends on
left
your
to
vantage point.
for mine they were going left to right.
From the radio booth side.
From the radio booth side, they were going.
Which
I
is-
thought they were going right to left from the radio booth.
The
side.
literal eye in the sky is someone in the stadium. Correct?
Yes, the call.
Well, Scott's on the air. Scott's on the line. Scott, hello.
Hey, if you're playing Another One Bites the Dust, can you play We Are the Champions after? You have
We're
to play
talking
both
about
together.
something serious here, Scott. We're giving you credit.
They're saying that counts as 2 songs or 1 song.
Let me ask you this.
I think it counts as one, Fred.
Let me ask-
Go ahead, Trump. Go ahead, Artie.
Oh, thank you. The literal eye in the sky for the NFL
Hurry up, we only
concussion.
have a second before the bet
Shut up,
starts.
Brad.
Yeah, the NFL officiating guy. Is he on the same side of the field as you are? Because from your angle, I don't know if it was as easy to see that he took a shot to the head.
It's a great question. I would have to think he's on our side or up in the press box, right, in one of those side
Right.
suites, because there's no everything on the other side is all suites for donors and clients. He was moving left to right at about the 30, and he didn't get up right away. That's why I had some concern.
That's right.
All right.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
play
you,
both
Scott.
songs. Thank you.
Thank you. I do count that as 1 song. And then Fat Bottom Girls was just a sweep in between. He looked good, though, Drake May, didn't he?
Oh, football. Yes, he did. 5 of 6.
That was mostly football.
It was. left to right also.
It just so happened that you brought it up and Scott was on the phone, so I took the phone call.
I thought it all worked out really well.
Were we discussing
Seamless.
an actual play during the game? Yes.
Can I bust balls?
No. No.
Not at all. Very sensitive.
Not until you put out 10,000 hours.
What's the protocol now? How about that?
Protocol?
Yeah.
He basically has to go through a series of tests, I think it's 3 or 4, and show incremental progress throughout the week. And he will not – I would not expect him to practice tomorrow, Wednesday, but we'll see. Every brain is different.
Okay. Do you think that they beat Tennessee?
I don't know. This is a coin flip. Like it's another game. You're on the road. Tennessee stinks. I don't know who's playing quarterback yet. I think you have a lot of feel good off of this game against the Jets, but the Jets also held you to fewer than 250 yards, and more often than not, that's not going to get it done. I think
How'd they move the ball down the field against the Jets in that last drive?
So
now that you've watched it,
it's interesting you asked, and I said Drake May 5 of 6 earlier. That meant accurate passes. So like not only was he doing damage scrambling, he had that giant ball to Tyquan Thornton that Thornton dropped. So this guy in a quarter plus played very, very well. End of the Drake May segment. How do they move the ball? The Jets blitzed Jacoby Brissett as much on that final drive as they did in the entire game. So they changed things up in a way that gave Brissett one-on-ones, and he took advantage. Now, part of it was Hassan Reddick, as Belichick pointed out yesterday, McAfee, running right by him on third down that let Brissett scramble for 14 yards. He also did something similar when Brissett hung in the pocket against more man-to-man coverage, and I can't remember if this play was a blitz, but had that play to Kayshon Boutte. So they just changed their game plan on that last series in a way that was very different. And Brissett, to his credit, took advantage, hung in, and those are the 2 biggest plays of the drive.
Okay. And Sauce Gardner got beat clean.
Yeah, and Hunter Henry had a good grab start, 12 yards. That was the start of, hey, we're just going to challenge you. In a way the Patriots have been doing with their defense all game. They didn't blitz Aaron Rodgers once, except for on the 2-point conversion. But they played man-to-man all day, saying, we can cover you.
And Aaron Rodgers looked bad.
Yeah, I think, look, he did a lot of damage, obviously, going to Garrett Wilson. But on balance, this is a guy who's not making the throws that he thinks he can. I think he's playing like he still believes he has Drake May's talent and his own brain. Because you look, he's still completing just barely over 60% of his passes this year. And what more could you want than Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams?
He's got plenty.
What were they saying in the press box about the play clock running out and calling the 3 timeouts in the first quarter?
Not much, though we have a row, or I do at my end of the press box with a few other folks, with the Jets or the visiting beat writers right behind us.
It's very hushed tones up there.
I've never been up there.
Oh, it's like a library. You don't go up there.
Depends on the beat.
Okay.
Dolphins come in. Their crew's pretty happy when their team wins. I'll say that.
Parrot heads, yeah.
The Jets were more just exasperated by what they were watching, which granted, they're Jets beat writers, but they're like, I can't believe they did this.
Aaron Rodgers' explanation for it, it's like, well, sometimes we're late breaking the huddle and
they're late. Did you see late substitutions and stuff? Did you see it being anyone's fault but his?
Lackadaisical.
Well, that's him.
And so you, as the quarterback, can say, let's go.
Well, yeah.
One quarterback becomes very famous for saying, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go, everybody. Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go. Here we go.
All right. So this saves if Mayo had this. So there's no way Mayo gets fired in the offseason. I think the 2 wins. There's no way. So there's just no way. That's not a topic of conversation because the fan base and the media, not you, but the fan base and the media evolves because before the season they're like this, don't expect them to win, but then they lose a few games in a row and everyone's like they're going to fire Mayo. You're just saying this shouldn't even be a topic. Mayo's clean. He will coach the 2025 New England Patriots.
I think if you understand what you're watching, which is a rebuild, if you understand what you've heard, which is Robert Kraft's unending support for his hand-picked coach to lead this franchise, then you know what's what. And that's Gerard Mayo is here for the foreseeable future. And I say this as someone who's been very critical of Mayo, being out-coached as early as that Week 2 loss to the Seahawks, everything that went on in London. The loss to the Dolphins was a disaster. And it's not that they're losing. To me, it was the process of just, can this look better? Can we do better in the worst pass protection in the league? Can we not take all these penalties? Can we not be as predictable when we're play calling? What are you doing as a coaching staff? They gave back some of those advantages on Sunday. So this is not me jumping in front of a train for Mayo. It's to say this can look better than it has. Good for you for getting another upset win. And when we come back here in 2025, he'll still be the head coach.
All right, very good. Andrew Callahan, you got 2 stats and a live for us?
Oh, I do.
All right, because Andrew Callahan, none of us got it right last week. This is what he brings. And we will see how we do this week. We will be back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headline. Boston sports. Boston sports. And it is all we do. 98.5, the Sports Hub. We're back with Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 the Sports Hub.
Which brings me, though, to my two stats and a lie. Two of these stats are obviously the truth. One is a lie. Some imaging with this would be fun.
All right, Andrew Callahan is here every Wednesday from 8 until 9 to talk about the Patriots. He is, of course, from the Boston Herald. And we are brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. But that's not the real opening. The real opening to this segment is sung by our own Nicholas.
Sometimes.
Let's do this. It takes two steps from the other night. And one might see if you get it right. It takes two steps from the other night. And one might see if you get it right.
Now,
In fairness, he'd never heard that song before. You asked him to do that.
I'm told there's something else. Has Nick done a new composition? Because I don't know about this.
He has. Would you like to hear it?
Oh, yeah.
Here you go.
Because we had another new one last week.
Yeah,
Hold on a second.
2 weeks ago.
Oh, you want to play the other? Yeah, you play that one first.
Stats. Buddy has just one line. Andrew has two stats. Buddy has just one line.
How old before Nick's kid is taking care of him? Because he's like a toddler now. When do you think he starts like outsmarting him? 9?
Yeah, Luigi's what?
Yeah,
1,
like
2
fifth.
years
Yeah,
old?
5th grade, 9, 10.
Yeah, like 5th grade, he becomes like a Ferris Bueller type and
Yeah.
like starts like
No
outwitting
way.
his father.
There's no way that kid could make something like that for at least another 25, 30 years.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like pulling the wool over his eyes. All right, so this is a new opening.
This is a brand new one. So let's.
Wow.
Andrew's got two stats. Andrew's got two stats. But he's got one line.
All right, I don't like it. Turn it off right now because he's trying to sing like this.
Two stats.
Turn it off.
Andrew's got two stats. But he's got one line. He's got one line.
He's trying to sing bad. Nicholas, it's almost good that we played this because when you're not trying, when you're trying too hard, I don't like it. You gotta like when you're trying to be bad, I don't like it.
Okay,
you gotta
so
try.
Let's go back to the original second one. I think we all like the original second one.
Well, I'm just saying with the Halloween song coming up, or not the song, but the Halloween update.
Yeah.
I don't want him like going in like trying to be bad. Because if it comes off and it's really good, then it's really good. But if it comes off bad, I want it because he tried. Yeah, see, he's trying there. Yeah, Nick's too in on it with that one. I don't like that. You can fool some people some of the time.
You got it.
All right.
Yes.
Let's get to the stats. This takes a while, so let's do this.
All right.
Let's figure out what Andrew Callahan has for us.
All right, two stats and a lie. Standings update. Overall, I'm 14-6. Fred, you are 3-3. Hardy, 2-5. Wallach, 1-6.
Losing streak.
Patriots pulled past Wallach on Sunday. 2-6.
Jesus.
Let's see if he can pull even. Okay, number one. By trading Josh Uche, the Patriots just traded their active leader in sacks. Number two. The last time Aaron Rodgers had a 300-yard passing game.
The Fed doesn't have to run through the whole thing.
Okay, all right, it's done.
All right, good. All right, here we go. All right. What's the second one again?
The last time Aaron Rodgers had a 300-yard passing game, the Patriots led the AFC East.
The last time Aaron Rodgers had a 300-yard passing game, the Patriots led the AFC East.
He hasn't had one this year, I don't think, and he didn't have one the last year he played in Green Bay. Go ahead.
Number three. On his 17-yard touchdown run Sunday, Drake May became one of the Patriots' 5 fastest ball carriers the past 2 seasons.
Come on, girl.
For the sake of
say it
that
again.
middle linebacker, who I don't even know for the Jets, I hope that's true.
On his 17-yard touchdown run Sunday, Drake May became one of the Patriots' 5 fastest ball carriers the past 2 seasons.
Woo!
Per Next Gen Stats.
And that just and the obvious thing is that includes punt and kick returns in every receiver that's caught a ball.
Anyone carrying a football.
Right.
Yep. So
Oh, boy.
I'll go down quickly one more time. Number 1, by trading Josh Uche, the Patriots just traded their active leader in sacks. Number 2, the last time Aaron Rodgers had a 300-yard passing game, the Patriots led the AFC East. Number 3, on his 17-yard touchdown run Sunday, Drake May became one of the Patriots' 5 fastest ball carriers the past 2 seasons.
Okay, that just by the way that lines up factually, statistically, number 3 sounds like a stat. 2 kind of sounds like a stat. I think the second you said number 1 about Josh Uche being the active sack leader struck me as a lie. I'm sticking with my gut. I'm saying number 1 is the lie.
You want me to go next, Fred, or are you going to go?
You can go next.
All right. I think, well, Matthew Judon would have had the lead, but Judon got traded. Uche had a big season a couple of years ago. He had double-digit sacks. What was it, 10, 11, 12, something like that? And he had 3 last year and 2 this year. So I'm going to say Uche was the career leader in sacks. I don't agree with you, Hardy. It's been a while since Aaron Rodgers had a 300-yard passing game long enough. I think it was early in the year, too. So I think it's possible the Patriots had at least a share of the division
Share of the lead, yeah. I agree. I agree with that.
So I think that you have Tyquan Thornton, you have Marcus Jones, you have a bunch of guys who can run, not necessarily catch. I do believe that 3 is the lie here.
Okay. All right.
Does the Patriots being in first place in the AFC East count 2-3 games into the season?
Sure. Why wouldn't it?
Okay. The sack thing I have no idea about. But if he had double-digit sacks, see, if I was going to cheat, I'd ask John if there's a defensive lineman or a linebacker that's been on the team that I'm not thinking of for a long time.
And I'm also concerned about the word active. Active Patriots or just active in the NFL?
Does that word generally worry you, Hardy, being active?
It's a
with his
legitimate
herpes. It's a very big concern.
I'm sorry,
that's
Andrew.
when it's transmittable.
We try football. Can we do football?
Can we bust balls?
Shag off.
You were in that one.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Woo! Oh, so you're saying the active leader in sacks, that it doesn't mean the Patriots
is it
active
Patriots
leader.
active leader or active leader?
Patriots active leader.
Okay.
Patriots
Okay, all right,
active leader. That's what I thought. All right.
All right, that seems too obvious, so I'm going to say that's
That's the lie?
Aaron Rodgers has not had a 300-yard game this season. That's a fact. He was hurt last season. In the season before that with Green Bay, I don't think that he had a 300-yard game. I know he hasn't this year. So I'll say that stat is true, that the Patriots were in first place. I will say that the Uche thing is... I'm going to say the Uche thing's a lie because May is fast, and he went 17 yards and beat the defense.
So Hardy and Fred say number 1's the lie. I say number 3 is the lie.
And he has a chance to sweep again. And
I know
Callahan.
he does. Watch, we'll all be wrong again.
I didn't sweep. Fred and Hardy got me.
Hey, high five.
Awesome, dude.
Good work.
Awesome.
You too. So Fred moves to 4-3. Hardy is 3-5. Wallach 1-7.
Damn it.
Wow.
Puts me at 15-8. Here's how the stats run down. Anyone want to guess who the Patriots' active leader yesterday? So right before the trade, when Josh Uche got dealt, who it is? Because he's still on the team.
Keon White.
Godchow.
No. This guy has more sacks than Teddy Bruschi and Dante Hightower did in their careers with the Patriots.
Okay, they were middle linebackers. If you didn't know, that's my knowledge of the Patriots lore.
It's a surprise to me, too.
Rob Ninkovich.
Dietrich Wise. So on the team right now, he has been here since 2017. His single season high for sacks is only 7.5. He's good for 4, maybe 5 here and there. So he has 30.5. 10 more than Joshua Uche, who was not the active leader in sacks when he got traded. Number 2.
Oh, I thought the whole time I thought you were talking about this season.
Oh, are you lucky?
So he only gets a half. half for honesty.
Misunderstood it and still got it.
But I understood it. I have a winning record.
So the word active
China's
did
now
worry
1-7.
The word active, yeah, that's really no. I'm not crazy about the question. I still won though. Still the winner.
Yeah, he gets a win. Number 2. The last time Aaron Rodgers had a 300-yard passing game was December 12th, 2021.
Yeah.
That was right after the Patriots beat Buffalo in that windstorm game on Monday Night Football, and were not only leading the AFC East, they were leading the AFC as the number 1 seed. Wow. That following week was the last time Aaron Rodgers had a 300-yard passing game.
This was a sweet week for me because he threw a Jet one in there, which I might know. The Jets far more likely to know, which is good because I do sports radio in Boston. Go ahead.
Would you like 5 quarterbacks who have since thrown for 300 passing yards in a game?
Go ahead.
Okay, number 5, Mac Jones.
Okay.
Number 4, Gardner Minshew.
Of course, Gardner Jakes Minshew.
Magic.
Number 3, Will Levis.
Oof.
Number 2, Bailey Zappi.
Oh, man.
Number 1, with a 300-yard passing game more recently than Aaron Rodgers.
Zach Wilson.
Jarrett Stidham.
Oh, Jarrett Stidham.
Oh, Sticky.
Wow. I'll tell you this.
I think Zach Wilson's also in this group.
Yeah, I think he is too, because I think Zach Wilson had a 300-yard game for the Jets. I'll tell you this, is that if the Jets had any balls, they'd bench Rodgers. They'd bench Rodgers.
Well,
all
first
right.
they have to replace the kicker.
Real quick, the last one.
Yeah.
Drake May. 20.33 miles per hour in that touchdown run. Okay? That was the second fastest behind Antonio Gibson, who hit 21 miles an hour against San Francisco. But he was faster than Kayshon Boutte and Demario Douglas have run this season. Last year, the only player faster than Drake May was Jalen Reagor twice on kick returns. And over the last 3 years, that run by Drake May, according to Next Gen Stats, made him the 7th fastest Patriot, behind only Reagor, Marcus Jones. Pierre Strong got to 20.86. Marcus Jones did it again, and then Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, I thought Marcus Jones would be the fastest. And the thing is that, just real quick, if it matters to anyone, seeing Drake May in person for the first time, that kid's legit. Like, I mean, everything about him is legit. I mean, his physical tools are in size. It's just unbelievable.
It's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world. I mean, he's like a freak. I can understand what, and if he has any mental acuity at all, there's no reason he shouldn't be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. No reason. All right, Andrew Callahan, thank you so much.
Great.
We appreciate it. Great segment.
Thanks, Andrew.
You brought it.
Thanks,
It's
guys.
all you. Jim Montgomery, the coach of your Boston Bruins, is a big fan of Wallachs. He can't get enough of them. We will talk to him in just a moment.
Head coach Joe Mazzulla.
He doesn't care with the circumstance, the sub-pattern. He doesn't give really two about anything other than just competing at the highest level. So that to me is just he's a purist competitor, and so I really appreciate that about him.
Damian Lillard scored 33 points in a loss from Milwaukee. Celtics are off tonight. They visit the Indiana Pacers tomorrow night. Bruins are in action this evening at home against Philadelphia. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots made a trade yesterday, sending Josh Uche to Kansas City for a sixth-round draft pick in 2026. Players had yesterday off. They have today off also. They'll be back at work tomorrow. On Monday Night Football, Pittsburgh beat the New York Giants 26-18. Steelers are 6-2. And at the World Series, Freddie Freeman hit another homer, lead the Dodgers to another World Series win over the Yankees 4-2 at the stadium last night. LA now leads 3-0. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Dittlemore McKim School of Business at Northeastern University. You'll gain business strategy expertise leveraging AI, data, and technology. Connect with them at an admissions event at northeastern.edu/business events. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Boston plays here.
Pressure, half court, it's in the air. He got it! He did it again!
98.5 The Sports Hub. In the office, in your car, in your footy pajamas, this is how Boston sports fans start their day.
I bet you're just jealous.
Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, we're Toucher and Hardy. Look at who we're very pleased to have Jim Montgomery, coach of your Boston Bruins, with us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Jim Montgomery, hello, sir. Thank you for joining us very early.
Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
You chose. I mean, well, you didn't choose. We asked you to come on. You graciously said yes. I mean, you begged us to come on. You said, "How can I talk to the media?" You said, and then much like one of your predecessors, you asked for not cash but trade with appliances, as was the case with Julian.
I didn't even know we negotiated yet, but I like the way you're thinking.
Yeah, well, Claude did not want to pay the taxes. So he said, I need appliances. And I swear to God, that's what he did.
Does anybody like to pay taxes? You ever heard of Boston Tea Party?
Yeah, well, that's how he ingratiated himself to the local community. He said, I'm not paying any of these tariffs. Yes. It's too much for us. But this is unprecedented, Coach Montgomery. It's so early. This is your normal schedule. You are usually up and about at this time. You don't play until tonight. This is what you're doing.
It's too early.
No, this is what we do. We have a morning skate today. We get in as coaches, and as coaches, we got to think if we put in a lot of hours, it means we're doing our job.
All right, yeah.
Is there really enough to do though? I mean, you're gonna be there what 3.5 hours before the guys are on the ice?
What 10 or 11 in the morning? What do you do for 3.5 hours?
The video coaches and Jay Leach, our assistant coach, they pour over all the stuff that the Flyers have been doing well, and maybe areas that we might be able to expose. We will go over that. We get a workout in. I'm a big fan of a sauna. And then, we meet, and then we meet with the players. Then we jump on the ice for about 20 minutes. Then we eat again, and then go home, do whatever you need to do, run errands for an hour. And then you turn around, you go back to the garden at around 3.
Two things. Is a cold plunge ever involved? Because Fred has a lot of thoughts on that. And B, will there be a nap this afternoon?
There is always a 30 to 45-minute nap. That's just healthy for you. And the cold plunge, I got to admit, I'll do a cold shower, but I used to, as a player, do the cold tubs, but I'm not doing that at 55 anymore.
Bad for the ticker.
No, well, listen, some of us can handle it and some of us can't. So they're breaking down all the video of everything the Flyers have done, and then they have the rest of the 24 hours to do.
To Schmitz.
All right, so Jim Montgomery, there is, the Brad Marchand. There was talk about you were yelling at Marchand there on the bench, and people were speculating what that was all about. I had my own thoughts on that, but can you kind of tell us what happened there and what your relationship with Brad is like?
Yeah. I mean, Brad and I have laughed about this whole ordeal. Like, we never spoke about it after it happened. And I was yelling at him. And it was a culmination of too many turnovers in our game that, you know, that one unfortunately didn't, and it ended up in our net, you know, but the whole situation is when you're in the heat of battle, you cannot always be in control like you would like to be. I would have liked to have handled it better. But it's just like when you talk to your own children, and I'm not saying Brad is this way. I'm just saying in general, you tell them to make sure that we're playing, making high percentage plays. And when there's repeated, your children don't listen to you about throw the gum in the garbage and then you sit down on the couch and it ends up on your pants or your jeans. You know, sometimes you don't always handle it the way that the Cosby Show handled it, where you're in control and your emotions get the best of you. And Brad and I, we both have talked ever since he was named captain several times about how we're wired similarly. Like, we like to be in control of our emotions. We understand that our emotions drive us in a real positive way 95% of the time. Or 5% of the time where it's going to go the wrong way on you. And him and I laugh about situations like that, but that's why it works well. That's why in our culture that we talk about, and that's why we're coming out of this little funk that we've been in, is because we do communicate. It is because we care about each other, and we're like a family. A family, I remember my dad always said, a family can fight together, you know, in the house, but when we're on the outside, we're a united front. And when we're on the outside, we are a united front.
And I would think for a player like Marchand, and maybe for you too, Jim, that you can take that. Like Brad can handle, you know, some tough love in those moments. Maybe not every player, and you don't treat every player the exact same way, I wouldn't think. But for Brad, he can probably, you know, brush that off and take it for what it was in the moment.
So you're bang on. I mean, Brad Marchand's one of the toughest athletes ever. I mean, I think you put Pedroia in that ilk, you know, and you probably have Gronk in that ilk. And then they're the type of humans that their competitive fire also allows them to handle. And it's part of the way you're raised. And you're correct. There's other players. There's no chance I would have done that with at least 70% of the other players on the team because they need a different way to be reached.
Yeah, that Hardy stole that from me because I was saying that it's like the Belichick-Brady thing, that Belichick would go after Brady and the other team would go, he's the greatest.
You operate under the belief that I sit here and listen to you during this show.
I think it sank in, at least subliminally. All right. I just wanted to make it clear, Jim, that was my thought. Go ahead, John. You had a question.
My question is about the lineup. You've obviously made a lot of different line combinations over the last 3 or 4 games to try and get some people going. Specifically, guys like Morgan Geekie. Marchand just scored his first goal. What more can you as a head coach do? What other buttons can you push?
The only thing you can do, when players are in a slump, so to speak, like Aaron Judge is right now in the World Series, is showing them positive video of, you know, this is what you look like when you're on. And we have that footage, and we show them the effort that it takes for them to score a lot of their goals. And the best example is Brad Marchand's goal that he got the first one in here. I mean, he probably got 4 shots on net. He chopped the goalie's leg off before he put the puck in the net. And that's the way you get to positive results, is by being in the moment and making sure you're doing the right things that lead to those type of chances.
I also wanted to ask you about Jeremy Swayman. Obviously, he didn't have much of a preseason. He didn't have any preseason with you. Is he still kind of playing himself into shape?
No, he's not playing himself into shape anymore. I think he needed to get his reps in just to get the looks that a goalie wants to get. just a little bit of Boston drivers here, and I'm one of them making some bad decisions. He is now real sharp and focused. You can tell by his goalie handles have been excellent, and just his game management. That's where I know like he's in sync, and I think he's been really good for us his last 4 starts.
Jim, how do you feel about the defense and the way they're playing in front of Swayman or Korpisalo for that matter right now?
Yeah, not good enough. That's the part of our game, not only the defense, but just turnovers, penalties, and defense have been the 3 areas that have not been up to our standard. We were there last game in 2 of those 3 areas, and that's, we do have almost 75% turnover of players that have been with the Bruins for less than a year. There's probably 6 players on the roster have been with the team for more than 2 years. And sometimes the season doesn't start off great. And that's what we're, going through right now. Last couple of years, we started off 17-2-2 and I think 11-1-1. And we didn't end up with the desired result. And I am a positive. I always look at the glass half full, and sometimes you need to go through some really hard times, and you go through them early, you really find out about yourselves early in the season, and you can always draw back on those hard times.
All right. And, okay, so as you go through and this gets adjusted, when do you start paying attention to the record? Like at what point does that start entering your mind? Instead of game by game, you look at more of it as a macro.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not too concerned. You can't fall out of a playoff race in the first 20 games. You just need to be in the hunt. But after the first, 20 games, and I'm not saying I'm not concerned about our record even right now, but that's when you got to start clicking along. You're always going to have sections that basically, historically in the NHL, if you get 12 points every 10 games, you're on pace to make the playoffs because that gets you about 96 points. I think we're going into our 10th game tonight. We win, we have 11. So we haven't put ourselves in a bad situation. We just need to start playing consistent Bruins hockey, and we feel with the roster we have and the people, most importantly, that are donning the Spoke B jersey are going to get us to where we need to go.
And this is not me stealing from Fred because I'm not convinced he's right on this, but Fred feels fine with the way things are going right now in terms of the way the team is constructed because he thinks playoff time, this is the type of roster that you're going to need and that it's going to prevail as the games tighten up a little bit and things get a little more physical. Do you feel the same way despite the hiccups here in the first 9 games that the way this team is built right now is built for playoff success?
I do agree with that. I think, inside the Bruins walls, we are very confident that just getting to the dance is going to allow us to have success. Whether we finish first in the Atlantic or we finish, as a wild card team, we're confident with the group we have after the course of a long season and growing together that we will be the playoff team we desire to be.
All right, Jim Montgomery. We're parallel thinking. You understand?
You and Jim?
Yeah,
but he doesn't cold plunge, so your guys aren't like brothers.
It's like doing coke, dude. You get out and the dopamine just kicks in. Yeah. I had a friend who was like, he's like, have you done the cold plunge? I go, no. And he goes, it's like doing cocaine. I go, all right. So I get in the cold plunge. I do it for 5 minutes. I come out. I go, nothing's happening. Yeah. This is cut with a lot of stuff.
That's an odd description to do something healthy for you.
I know. Well, listen, he's like, you won't believe the dopamine kick. And I'm like, it's not happening.
Not happening.
All right. Jim Montgomery, best of luck tonight. We really appreciate you calling in today. Thanks and good luck.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
There you go. Jim Montgomery. Very good. We will be back in just a minute.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy.
bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. You can email JON@985thesportshub.com, Hardy at 985thesportshub.com, or Toucher at 985thesportshub.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Toucher and Hardy. You can follow me on Instagram at Fred Toucher, and you can follow Hardy at Hardy985. That's how you get in touch with us. And by the way, Comics Come Home is coming to, speaking of our conversation, is coming to the Garden on Saturday, November 2nd, featuring Sam Morrell and Robert Kelly, Bill Burr, obviously Dennis Leary. Tickets are available via Ticketmaster or CamNeelyFoundation.org. Kelly, that was all me. Adam dropped the ball on that one.
I was holding off till tomorrow. You're on top of things, Fred. I'm impressed.
Well, I'm going through my emails, you know.
It is the email bit.
Doing the thing for the show.
I'll do a FanDuel here, too, since we didn't do one at the top of the hour.
Oh.
Well, I couldn't have done one at the top of the hour.
That wasn't meant to be a zing.
I wasn't on the air. That was a taped interview from 6:40.
You could have insisted on being
said,
on the air.
do you need me to do something? And he said, no. He said that it had all been cut up.
Sounds like he needs you to do it now. Would you do it, please?
Yes, FanDuel. We're brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel. This is from our friend Scott, who emails all the time. The show is way better now with Adam on it. I think you should add his name, Fred, Hardy, and Adam, or Adam and Fred.
Let's not go crazy here, but thanks for the compliment.
And just skipping over Wallach like that, passed
and then
over.
skipping over you
Very rude.
on the second one.
I would be, look, that's fine. Wallach's been here from the jump, so.
And then
That's
Scott had a lot to say very late at night on Saturday.
Oh, you go back to a Saturday.
That's a compliment anymore.
Saturday at 2:14 a.m.
Oh, man. So early Sunday morning.
Yeah, he says, you won't be able to talk about Trump and Joe Rogan on your show, which sucks because it would be good content. And then he says, nobody should be trying to censor you. Dude, you should be able to say whatever you want. You got a 25 share.
Did he accuse me of trying to censor you?
No, I think he was in his own thoughts.
Okay.
I don't have anything to say. I didn't listen to Rogan and Trump.
No, but I guess there was some controversy, like the episode wasn't available on certain platforms, like maybe on YouTube or something. So they had to post it somewhere else. Like it wasn't showing up when people were searching for it. So
I don't doubt that.
All right.
One thing that I did talk about earlier in the show is Tony Hinchcliffe and his complete abomination of comedy that he did at the Madison Square Garden event.
Yeah, he didn't kill.
So you can listen to that on the podcast. I won't revisit it.
Okay,
it's fascinating. Everyone should watch it. It's a gentleman who's not funny dying, and he's in the orbit of funny guys, Shane Gillis and so on and so forth. Go ahead.
So yesterday we had a phone call. It was Pat who wanted to talk about Urban Cowboy. Fred rudely and summarily dismissed him mid-thought.
I had a friend who was like, "We got to watch Urban Cowboy. Come correct. Watch it this week, and then share your thoughts." And then they used the phrase the Kesey scale, the Kesey scale, and I had to look it up.
What is that?
It's a scale of homosexuality.
Yeah.
And they were, referring to Travolta, but I didn't know what it was, so I felt I was already out of my depth.
Okay.
They were referencing things I didn't get. It felt like if I was in a room with you and Missoula, that you two would be shouting out grand champion names of chess and things of that nature, and I'd be left behind.
So is the
Two Dennis Millers?
Was this person saying that Urban Cowboy has like some homoeroticism element to it?
Kinsey scale is what it is. No, I just think that that John Travolta's every portrayal he does of, I think what they were getting at is that every role that John Travolta does that's supposed to be hyper masculine is erring on the side of being kind of gay.
Saturday Night Fever, Urban Cowboy, Broken Arrow. Yeah, because he gives Christian Slater some long looks. There we go.
What are we doing here? What's this?
Well, this is from Urban Cowboy and also Mickey Gilly.
So everyone's supposed to know that this is from Urban Cowboy, the 1980 film?
I knew. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Wallach was 45 when it came out.
Wallach actually was an urban cowboy. He used to go to Faneuil Hall and ride the bull. Was that a thing? And
Not
does
here.
anyone remember? Like, was that like streaking where like people actually did it for a while?
I don't think so.
Because Urban Cowboy obviously was trying to capture what the Saturday Night Fever did. Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an obvious attempt. Not even seeing the film, I know what it is. Is that Saturday Night Fever like captured the zeitgeist? They took something that was happening, they put it on the screen. It was this unimaginable success. So they were searching for something else to do, and they went, well, there's these guys in big cities dressing up like cowboys, hustlers as they called them. You know, because you've seen Midnight Cowboy.
Unfortunately.
Midnight Cowboy is nothing if not boring. I just watched Midnight Cowboy because it was referenced in a book about like how subversive it was. Now I know what this is. How about how subversive it was? And I'm like, this is nothing. Watch the Menendez brothers documentary if you want to see some gay stuff.
It's a very strange movie.
Not a prosthetic in the Menendez brothers thing. And you know who told me that? Ex-wife.
Oh.
She sent me an article and she's like, nah, it's real.
That's good.
And I went, all right, I don't like that.
Because I was really looking.
I'm like, I don't like that.
No.
Why couldn't you just let me think it was fake? He's got all those looks and plus that. That ain't right. It's like a Wallach.
Anyway, it was Patton Franklin who you hung up on mid-Urban Cowboy Thought yesterday. He emailed me his question. He wanted to know why there's no furniture in the penthouse when Travolta is at that other girl's place.
Because Guccione's a thief.
The other girl is, of course...
Hustler.
No.
We were the first to show it all.
Madeline Smith Osborne, who you'll enjoy in the movie Funny Farm. She is Chevy Chase's love interest.
Of course.
Okay. When they moved to...
I've never seen Funny Farm beginning to end. I haven't.
Okay, never mind then.
I take it
I don't know that what I can talk to you guys about.
Is it about a nut house, the Funny Farm? Like,
Funny
are
Farm?
they all trapped in a nut house getting electroshock?
Starring you. It's called. They originally called it the Booby Hatch.
No, that was an adult film that I was in, but featuring just overweight men.
You should watch Funny Farm also because Chevy Chase is a sports writer and he wants to become a novelist. And he and his wife moved to Redbud, which is a
Vermont.
Town, probably Vermont, some New England town. And boy, do things get wacky. Talk about a couple of fish out of water.
Yeah, because the things in small towns are not as they seem.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They join the Klan. When they won't join the Klan, the cross burnings in the yard. I understand.
No, it's more about Claude Musselman and what was going on the property before they got there. And there's just,
bunch of dirty hippies in Vermont soiling everything.
But anyway, Pat and I had a nice back and forth on email about Urban Cowboys. So, again, sorry Fred hung up on you yesterday. He's a bad person.
All right, Fred, there's a guy named Sam who emails us a lot that deliberately left you off an email because he's had it with you. He emailed us twice.
Well, I don't like
because
this.
he's upset.
Oh, I wasn't going to read this one, Wally.
You were not going to read this one.
No.
You think I should leave this one out? You think I should?
No,
read
you
it?
can't
Now
now.
you have to.
Now you got to read it.
If you take a Finebaum caller, take away the hick accent, speed it up to 1.5 speed, I swear it would sound the exact same as Fred with all the ums and ahs and stutters. Listening to Freddie T. read, he's even worse.
Yep. I've been accused of that.
That was the nicer of the two emails. I'm glad you read that
I left that one.
What's the
out
other
there.
one? You can go ahead and read it.
Unless
it's about my kids, you can read it.
No. It's essentially yelling at you about you won't shut up about Belichick.
Yeah. People are annoyed with that too.
Yeah.
Which makes me want to do it more.
Because
you're all morons. This guy's been a phony baloney this whole time, and then you're just sitting there and taking it.
See what you did, Sam? Mark has an email about Belichick and his girlfriend, too. Hey, Hardy, there's no way Bill can show his face at the girlfriend's family gathering at Thanksgiving, is there? Unless her father is football nut. There's still going to be a lot of awkwardness. That's Chopper and Quincy. Thank you, Chopper. Yeah, I don't think there's any way. I don't think there's any Thanksgiving that either one can attend.
All I gotta say is this: is that I've been single for 2 years, and I've never put a picture of me and a woman on social media. And Belichick has somehow been enraptured to do such, and he's Bill Belichick.
He's a regular guy. He goes to corn mazes. That's what he does.
Yep. With grandkids. Grandkids that are like in school. Grandkids that are like functioning.
Almost as old as his girlfriend.
Grandkids that are literate, like they can read and everything else. Grandkids that can explore the internet.
What I'm saying is the act of dating the woman is not what I'm find the most humorous. It's the publicity of it and the publicly coming out, the necessity in the falling for that is what I found punkish and less of a man.
Yeah.
About it.
I got you. Joe wants to know why us, Fred, you and I, are giving Wallach such a hard time. He said, you Gentiles are giving Wallach a hard time for adjusting his huge Hebrew hog. Jealous much?
That was just for alliteration's sake.
But it works.
If you don't know, Nick doesn't shut the YouTube cameras off in an effort to get us fired. And so during a break, Wallach is doing what he generally does. He was picking his nose, which I'm not familiar with him doing a lot. So I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with that. Unlike Aaron Rodgers, who picks his nose and eats it, as he was captured on the sideline doing. John was leaning. John likes to lean against the window and grab his balls, and that is true. No, it is. It's absolutely true.
It's coming around again, Fred.
And especially when he's getting loose and getting ready to take that Christmas trip to Philadelphia to be with his in-laws.
This is the second time the camera has caught me doing that.
Yeah, when he's sitting there,
when Nicholas has left it on during a break. This is the second time.
There's something about when the fall air comes where Nick gets real lazy with that YouTube camera.
It's time for me to get loose.
Yep. And then the thing is, like, if he left the camera on and we got fired, we could try to sue him, but then what are we going to get?
Yeah.
A big handful of nothing. You can't sue someone with no one.
Duncan in
B-roll
Colorado
says hog reveal from Wallach soon. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That's up to him and his Lord, whatever that is.
Duncan in Colorado. Good morning. Great show this morning. Watching live stream during one of the breaks. Chevy commercial played. I was slightly confused when the background music played, but did not contain the lyrics. Is it a firework or a menu item from Kowloon? Sign of great production. Keep up the great work. Were you here for that, Fred? I think we may have done that when you were out.
I don't think I was here for that.
Is it a name of a firework or a menu item from Kowloon?
So the game was give you a name, and you had to come up with whether it was.
Is it a name of a firework?
The song says.
Or a menu item from.
What song is this? Literal Path.
Yeah, sometimes we did that. It was 4th of July. You must have been on vacation.
Yeah, I was probably fake and sick. You know, there was a lot of Kowloon sweatshirts at the Patriots game. More than one. When I say a lot, at least 3 people rocking Kowloon sweatshirts.
Isn't that
Nice to
interesting?
see.
That's what Nicholas is wearing today.
And now that I think of it, I didn't hear Sarge at all.
Really?
And I was there an hour before the game in stadium, and I didn't hear Sarge at all.
Really?
Yeah. I wasn't listening for it, but I didn't hear it.
I've heard Sarge before and didn't know that it was Sarge. He's really good. He does a good job on the PA.
So Sarge here.
So you're saying that Sarge sounds good because he doesn't sound like himself?
He just sounds very professional. He's not doing like a parody of himself.
Yeah. I've heard him
Sometimes
do it
I think he did.
at the
I think
Revs games. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he leaned into the character a little bit. You know what? I think Sarge was getting one over on all of us, Fred.
Yeah, it was. I think his love of wrestling really came back and bit his career in the ass. And now he's kind of righted the ship, as everyone deserves a second chance. And now he's reinvented himself as just Mike Riley, you know, instead of the Mike Sarge Riley.
I don't know. He during training camp, he leans into that Sarge thing again. During training camp, I've told you about Sarge's yard, where it's right on the walkway coming out to the practice field. He holds interviews there. Sarge's yard.
But it's still all good.
Yeah, it's got quite a cottage industry.
Yeah. People talk about me grunting and all this stuff. The way that could be handled is to just have silence. And have you ever heard someone doing the radio when they do that? Eddie Trunk, I'll put you to the Eddie Trunk show. And he had the Grand Funk Railroad lead singer on yesterday. And again, I put it on to annoy my son. And I play it very loud to annoy my son. And if you want to hear someone who just to collect their thoughts in order not to or use any. So be careful what you wish for. If someone's going to talk to you in a conversational fashion, you can have either things where you think your car's broken or a Grand Funk Railroad song.
Yeah, this is
Some
Grand
Captain.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Grand Funk Railroad is one of those bands. Yeah, I know they existed, but I can't tell you that I've ever heard one of their songs.
You've heard this.
No. Where would they didn't play this on MTV? I never would have seen it. I never listened to a radio station that played this kind of stuff. I really didn't.
What's the other one, Hardy? Some Kind of Wonderful? I'm not going to play that one because.
Oh, I know that song. I know Some Kind of Wonderful, but that's not a rock song.
It's a wedding song.
Why did Eddie have them on? They don't fit.
Maybe
because
he's a fan
it's
of
the Eddie Trunk show.
Eddie's bemused at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now. He is. Bah! I'll tell you, it's ridiculous. I mean, you're going to tell me, and the guys now, when they get inducted, are dead, or they're too sick to perform. So you're telling me a tribe called Queest is going to sit up there and take something when Foghat, and I'm not making this up, and Foghat, their members are passing away. I mean, I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. He gets and it's every single show. It's like me with Belichick.
I believe it.
Maybe he had him on because he's not a fan of the band so much as the song Some Kind of Wonderful, and it's inspiring of the wonderful 1987 romantic comedy Some Kind of Wonderful with Eric Stoltz, Mary Stuart Masterson.
She
Leah
just wanted to
Thompson.
play the drums and be a chauffeur.
Yeah, and she wear them gloves.
She wear those gloves to drive and to play the kit. All right, we will be back with the award-winning stack.
And I have had many offers to become an insider.
We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. We're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. The Stack is brought to you by D'Angelo. Grilled sandwiches, freshly grilled, freakishly good. The D'Angelo classic steak and cheese, savory steak and melty American cheese piled high on golden brown bread. Devour one today. I got 2 Hess trucks because I endorsed them. If I leave them in studio...
Oh, they're gone.
How long before they're stolen?
I'd give it a day, maybe 2.
I don't know where these Lambert's hats came from, but I'm taking one today. It's a good hat. I like, I like the form.
I think they were up there. So they would be on TV. It would be my, I imagine. And so by you taking one, you're robbing them of their TV exposure.
Well, why don't we just give them one hat like center placement?
Okay. Whatever helps you sleep at night. Anything that can make you look like you're a laborer when you're not is what you want.
What is how does a Lambert's of Westwood hat make me look like a laborer?
I think it's it's a trucker hat. You know,
it's not
remember when
trucker
yesterday,
hat.
John, when Hardy couldn't remember the security guard's name at the Gillette
Scott.
Stadium? Boy, was he ridiculed off the air for that.
Oh, Scotty.
Oh yeah. Beetle let me have it over that one.
Yeah, everyone was saying what a fool you were.
Well, you know who's the real fool, Fred, is your hero, your icon, your Lord and Savior, Aaron Rodgers. You know how I know that he's that person? That he's all those things I just said? As I'm trying to frickin' load the frickin' audio? Yeah. Because Shannon Sharp said so.
Oh, I heard this, yep.
Oh, yeah.
It couldn't happen to a more smug, cavalier, condescending guy. Oh, that's even low for you. Who else you gonna blame it on? You running out of people to fire and demote. You fired Robert Saleh. You gonna fire Oberg now, the interim coach? You demoted Hackett. What you gonna do? Demote the new offensive coordinator? Who else you gonna trade for? Who else you gonna bring in? You heard what Gottschalk said yesterday. This guy, I can chase him down. Aaron is slow. He's slow, guys. He's not what he wants.
What is he the only person saying that?
No, but I thought it was funny because especially when he got to the part about him being slow and anybody can chase him down, I'm like, yeah, Fred's actually been saying that for about a month.
No, and everyone tells me how I'm out of my mind. It's amazing what happens when you watch them. That's the great thing about football is that everyone is under the impression that they know everything about the game when they don't watch every game.
Well, because
that's why Dave Richard is so impressive to me because he literally watches every game.
Yeah.
So people will tell you that you don't know what you're talking about. And people go like, oh, you thought Aaron Rodgers would be good? And I'm like, yeah, I never watched Aaron Rodgers play. He played in the NFC North. I didn't watch Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, I'd see him here and there in a playoff game. I wasn't watching Packer games. I took everyone's word for it. But I can tell you, in all fact, he stinks. Booger eater, too. Eating his boogers. And that's something even I don't do. Eat my boogers like a gross pile.
Something else we've all been saying for a while, don't know how good Tom Brady is going to be at this broadcasting thing. And now he has used a word during a game to describe a play that
read the awful announcing. You want to hear awful announcing? Read it from awful announcing.
Tom Brady uses insulting term to describe Josh Allen's play.
Yeah.
Now, can I read what he said? And
yeah, of course you can. But
okay.
Read it in context. Read like how they let you know you should be mad. Awful announcing. They're real pieces of garbage. When someone commits suicide based on the bullying they take on your articles, that blood is going to be on your hands. And I'm dead serious. If I get killed, it's because of awful announcing. And I want whoever wrote about me to know that cosmically they're responsible for an untimely murder and they'll have to reckon with their own God. Go ahead.
As Tom Brady continues to transition from quarterback to broadcaster, he's still learning which words aren't fit for national television. Brady and play-by-play partner Kevin Burkhardt.
So, by the way, that's saying that whatever he said automatically is not fit for national television.
Right.
Go ahead.
Calling the Buffalo Bills-Seahawks matchup Sunday for Fox, and while attempting to boast about Josh Allen during the first quarter, Brady used a questionable adjective to describe Buffalo's quarterback. Sometimes he played like a spaz, like a grade schooler on a sugar high, but now he's controlled the chaos. He's like a storm coming into town, and you don't want that storm coming into this town.
Now read about how they explain how the word he used is bad.
Strange choice by Brady. It's a term that has been deemed wildly offensive in the UK.
I mean, are you kidding me?
Because of its history as an ableist slur for people with disabilities, especially cerebral palsy.
Right. So what
the term isn't considered quite as offensive in the United States. Yeah, you know how I know? Because it's a character's name in a movie. But it's still meant as an insult to describe clumsiness, stupidity, or physical ineptness.
So are you saying it's about people with cerebral palsy, or are you saying it's about people that are clumsy? Because there's a vast difference in making fun of someone with an issue that they cannot control, and someone who's a little clumsy.
Well, 2 years ago, Beyonce removed the word from her song "Heated" after getting criticism, and then Lizzo changed a lyric in one of her songs after receiving the same criticism.
But she made people dance until they pooed themselves, Lizzo did. So if you want to know the art of making a trolling article to get people in trouble, start with you're about to be mad, informing the reader they're about to be mad. Then what the person said, it's not going to hit because, people are probably saying spaz still. So you explain then after why it's offensive. If it was a truly offensive thing, it wouldn't need any explanation of how it was offensive.
I saw the headline. I'm like, oh, my God, what did he say?
Did he drop an N-bomb or something? Like, what did he say? Right. And then, and so, by the way, this is how terrible these people are. They're giving you a history of the word spaz so you can know why you should be offended. If you're offended, you're offended. Like, it's a point of fact. An article could be Tom Brady said the word spaz, and you know what? It has been linked to people saying derogatory comments to people with certain conditions, which, but what all you're doing is shining a spotlight on something that no one else noticed. So even if it is offensive, you put a giant light on it. So anyone that would be offended by it can go ahead and see it. What is your end game? It's clicks. At what cost? At your soul. Yeah. You're true pieces of garbage. If I ever saw a resume and I was in management, I don't care, at a pool cleaning company, and someone had awful announcing on their resume, I'd fire them immediately. I wouldn't even bring them in and then you could sue me for discrimination, and I'd tie you up in litigation till your ears bled.
The author, Brandon Contes, the comments underneath this article are great.
Oh, I'm sure.
For God's sake, Brandon, stop being such a blogging spaz.
If someone says something offensive out of ignorance is not a crime. Ignorance is something that can be educated out of someone. If you have a problem with it, go to someone and say, here is why this, say it to them. And shining a big spotlight on it just makes you profiting off of something that is supposedly offensive. You're worse than the person that said it out of ignorance, because you're the one who apparently knows this is offensive and you're shining a light on it. I mean, they're real pieces of crap. The idea that thing is still alive, there's blood on your hands, you sons of bitches. And even if someone doesn't die, if they lose a job because of you, do you believe in any kind of cosmic fate? You probably don't. But wait until you get older. There's an order to the universe, you pieces of garbage. And I can't wait until it comes and bites you in the ass. Believe me, you're not doing the world any good. And that's not why you became a writer, to blog at 5 cents a word about someone saying spaz in a TV podcast. You're a pile of garbage, an untalented pile of crap.
Dump that, Adam. He said it again.
Yeah, no, we can't have that.
No, I said it I didn't say it referring to someone. I'm saying it that they referenced it in an article.
Well, they'll isolate it to make you look bad, though.
So. They can go ahead and do it. But because play the audio.
Nick,
I'm referencing something they wrote.
Nick, write an article about how many times Fred said the word during this segment.
Yeah, maybe we can pick up some of their audience and really make this company a lot of money. All right, that'll do it for us. Everyone have a great